to say. Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. And tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
Oh my goodness! Oh man! Promotion of the year, they said. Promotion of the year. Yeah, right. Oh, man, we got two matches, man. 2 matches over a stretch of 4 hours. And the rest was an AEW Collision taping disguised as a pay-per-view. We got Jon Moxley turning babyface. We got a great value Dollar Tree version of Anarchy in the Arena that was influenced by Tony Khan sitting on his rocking chair eating a bucket of Planters peanuts, supposedly. We got a boring final for the Continental Classic. And the ace, MJF, finally the world champion again for a second time, something that the company desperately needed. It may not be a World's End, but the pay-per-view tonight capped off the worst AEW year in their company's history. We're going to talk about it. Jesse is live with me tonight inside the venue, and I want to know on this Sunday morning, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Worlds End 2025 post show. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this Sunday morning, wherever you guys may be alive, joined by the one and only my very good friend, the Chi-Town Smart. What's going on, brother?
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Good, bro.
Bro, we may be saying that on Monday nights from now on. You know that?
It would only be fitting and make sense, man.
I know.
Be honest, I would like to see him back in the E, man. Something fresh. I want to see him retire there. You know,
it's gonna happen. There you go. How you doing, man? How you feeling? You know, the rumor mill was circulating that I may have terminated your business here on Wednesday nights over here, man. How you feeling?
Again?
Yeah.
Somebody left a comment. Somebody left a comment in one of my videos, and it said something about are you beefing with Jerry? I replied back, who the fuck is Jerry?
The IWC is trying to divide us, man. You know, it's like they got nothing else to do these days.
No, they got nothing else to do, man. I kind of enjoy it though. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of frustrating though on my end, man. I got Solid Monsters peeps over there. Well, why does Jason work with JD? And I got you guys over here. Why does Jesse work with JD? Did JD fire Jesse? I'm like, guys,
Bro,
really?
man, same fucking thing. You shouldn't work with him. He's a terrible person.
Yeah, how could you work with such an awful human being?
I mean, what the fuck is wrong with people, man?
I don't know.
Oh my God, bro.
I don't know, man. It is
How'd
what
you
it
enjoy
is.
the show?
Second?
How'd you enjoy the show?
I didn't like it.
You didn't what?
Shocking.
Really?
I know, man. It's shocking. I didn't like the show.
I honestly thought you were kidding just now. Really?
No, I didn't like the show.
What was wrong with it?
What do you mean what was wrong with it? It's an AEW pay-per-view. What was wrong with it? It felt like a two-match show that was disguised as an AEW collision taping. Surprised we're not doing a collision corner tonight.
What do we normally say about AEW pay-per-views, though?
That
So
they usually are their bread and butter, and they're way too long.
But the norm would be that you like the show because they normally do pay-per-views well. So I would have expected that you liked it.
No, man, I didn't. I felt almost less enthusiastic about this show than going into any of the other pay-per-views that we covered together. I think a lot of honestly speaking, I felt like the crowd tonight was less than enthusiastic. Man, the crowd and their energy almost took the show away from me and my enjoyment of the show. I don't know how you felt about the Schaumburg crowd. We've both been in that arena several times. We know what it feels like to be in there, but I felt like that was maybe their worst effort in Schaumburg, to be quite honest with you.
I guess for a Chicago crowd, maybe it wasn't that lit. Also, keep in mind, maybe you did notice, but most of that crowd was checking their phones for the Packers game.
Well, there was a "Let's Go Green Bay" chant or something like that in the women's tag team match, wasn't there?
No, it was Green Bay sucks chant.
Oh, Green Bay sucks. Okay.
Yeah. So Green Bay lost. So the Bears clinched.
Yes. All these other things more important than the AEW Worlds End pay-per-view that they paid good money to be at.
Nothing's more important than football.
So go to the fucking football game and get out of the Schaumburg Arena, man. The Now Arena.
Oh, I know. Fuck would they go to Baltimore?
Stay home and watch the game from the comfort of your own warm home. I don't know.
Man, still wrestling fans too.
I guess.
The crowd wasn't that lit, but it also wasn't dead either. But it was also better than a normal AEW crowd.
Yeah, it was certainly more up and down than I would really care to see or hear from an AEW crowd. Yeah, I didn't really care about this show, man. The Continental Classic is something that I have enjoyed to an extent since Toni has created his own version of the G1 Climax here in the States. It's a great tournament that gives great wrestling. I think we all know that. We've seen some tremendous matches. Some of AEW's best matches have come from this year's tournament this year. So I look at the tournament and, it's basically just for the sickos. I'm looking for a little bit more. I'm looking for a little bit more story element. Some of which we thought we were going to get and we did not get in this tournament. And hopefully AEW does the right thing and tells some really good stories coming out of some of these matches tonight, especially with Jon Moxley, which we'll get into, winning the Continental Classic this year, the Okada and Takeshita stuff, which we'll talk about, MJF winning the World Championship. I just felt like they didn't really care to tell any stories yet. Some stories that were there were easily to be told in this tournament, yet they didn't really go out there and do them. As far as the show, the Jon Moxley-Kyle Fletcher match was the best thing on the entire show. It may have been the best match in the entire tournament, in my honest opinion. And outside that, we got Takeshita and Okada. Those two matches actually opened the show, the two semifinal matches. The C2 final with Moxley and Okada was boring as shit. And then the rest of the show was just there for me, man. I didn't really give a shit about the tag team title match, Darby Allin bleeding with Gabe Kidd, and that fucking Dollar General version of Anarchy in the Arena that they gave us for absolutely no reason. MJF won the World Championship tonight, one of the more predictable things. It needed to happen, but, it needs to be said. It was one of the more predictable things that they've done all year. I don't know, man. It was just there for me. How did you feel about it?
I actually enjoyed the show.
Okay. There you go.
I'm
sure someone in the comment section is going to say, "Oh, there they go arguing again."
So minus like some of the obvious stuff that didn't need to be there. I mean, 100% right that some of this stuff just could have been on Dynamite, or maybe even Collision. But the mixed tag match and all that stuff, or all that shit. I looked at that on paper and I just kind of cringed at it, because I didn't understand why it needed to be on the pay-per-view, especially one that has more matches than it needed to have.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, bro, I mean, look, it didn't take very long and it was pretty entertaining. And it was more like a come down match. It was more like, because everything else was just serious wrestling, and this was just like it was short and there was a lot of fun spots in it. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be at the end of it. But the Gabe Kip Darby match, that didn't need to be on the show at all. That didn't need to be. The tag team match, no heat, didn't give a shit about it. I mean, it didn't need to be there. That was two matches. To me, two matches alone that didn't need to be. And yeah, on paper, the big mixed tag match thing, I would have X'd that too. But at the end of it, it was a pretty fun come down match. So, I mean, I take it.
Well, at the end of the show tonight, which was mercifully ended at 12:02 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank God they didn't go. They actually did less on this show than their previous pay-per-view. The last pay-per-view went over 12:30. So I appreciate the minus half an hour here, which could be shaved. Honestly, it could be shaved another half an hour, 45 minutes tops. I'd start these shows at 7 p.m., but we sound like a broken record every time we come on here. It's not going to change it. So there's no use in complaining about it. They are too long, and they will forever be too long. But I'll leave the ball in your court, Jesse. Let's start with what you want to talk about. What was the biggest takeaway from tonight's show? I know I have a lot to say about the Moxley and Death Riders stuff, but where do you want to go?
Let's start with the biggest thing. We got MJF is, he is our scumbag once again.
Thank God.
Yeah. I'll be honest here, man. I didn't think he was going to win. I didn't see a reason for him to win. It didn't make any, and I guess just because to me, it didn't make any sense as to why they made Joe champion in the first goddamn place.
Well, they made Joe champion because they needed to kind of make sense of his heel turn. Otherwise, what would his heel turn have meant to the ops and to AEW?
Well, that takes me back to even that. I don't understand why the heel turn needed to happen to begin with.
Well, the heel turn happened because they didn't have any other solid competitors and challengers for Adam Page, who they failed miserably as the AEW World Champion after such a historic moment of beating Jon Moxley in Texas at All In for the World Championship.
Yeah, that doesn't feel like a reason to turn him heel and make him a transitional champion and have him lose the title. You did more harm to Joe than anything else. You did more harm to Joe than anything else. Hangman just could have stayed fucking champion. This 4-way could have still happened, and he could have dropped the title to MJF, and you could have left Joe out of that part of the whole ordeal. It didn't need to be that way. I'm glad MJF is champion. He needs to be champion. We need him as champion more than anything else right now. I just don't understand the road they took to fucking get there. That's the part that didn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, the road that they took there, I don't even think AEW knew the road they wanted to travel on when they made Adam Page world champion. I'm going to say this once, and I'm going to say it again until people fucking listen to me, because nobody seems to believe me. Adam Page was never supposed to be in the position that he was in Texas. It was Darby Allin's spot until Darby Allin went to go climb a fucking mountain. They gave Adam Page the spot because the Cowboy in Texas got to win the world championship. And remember, there was a report that Ospreay and Page, neither one of them wanted to win, because Tony Khan had to make a late-minute decision on who he wanted, and he went with the only choice that made sense in the moment. This show was taking place on July 12th. So that's what he went with. He had no plan for Adam Page following All In. Obviously, you see that. Kyle Fletcher, Lee Moriarty. He wrestled Samoa Joe twice. So they had no vision for an Adam Page World Championship run. They basically gave him the ball to run with and hoped MJF and Swerve would get back in a timely fashion. And then when they did, they promptly took the belt off of Adam Page and put it on Samoa Joe. And they only did that because of the heel turn. They turned Joe heel because they needed a second match between Joe and Paige. Instead of building up another useless fucking match for Paige to go and blow through until we got Swerve and MJF back, they made Joe heel, and they didn't really understand what they were doing because in the process, they turned Joe heel, but in the same time, in the same breath, they needed to have Joe win to make sense of the decision that they made. So they didn't even realize what they were doing. They had to. Their backs were against the wall because of vices of their own doing. So they didn't even know.
Yeah. That all got fucked up, man. That all got fucked up. Joe should have never turned. He should never have been champion for the second time. And MJF should have been winning that title in this match from Hangman. But I don't understand why they went the way that they went. They shouldn't have done that. It makes Joe look really bad. Another thing that I thought made Joe and Swerve and Hangman look bad is the way they brought MJF back 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, we didn't cover Dynamite because it was Christmas Eve, and obviously you and me had family obligations to take care of. I won't be here next week, and neither will Jesse because it's New Year's Eve, and I'm not watching fucking Dynamite on New Year's Eve. Get the fuck out of here. So we did catch up on that. I did cover that show that you were talking about, the MJF return promo against all three of them, basically theoretically burying all three of his opponents. I mean, I don't really mind seeing that on any given night because he's one of the best promos in the business. But man, he just completely set himself apart from every single other person on that active roster in about 15 minutes, bro. And you can see why they needed to put the world championship on him because nobody speaks like him, nobody acts like him, nobody delivers the type of matches that he has, like he does, like. I mean, I don't want to say MJF in this current state of AEW is a ratings draw, but he's a bigger ratings draw than anybody right now that exists on that roster. He's more interesting right now than anybody that currently exists on that roster. And I do think that the fan base is so hung up on restoring the feeling. And we usually hear that phrase a lot on Wednesday night or when something great happens. The feeling is restored. The feeling has not been restored, to be quite honest with you. We thought the feeling was restored with Adam Page winning the world championship. That feeling dissipated very quickly. MJF is that feeling, in my honest opinion. I'm sure Jesse feels that same way. He is basically the beacon of what the old AEW is and will forever be until the day he leaves this place. So to put the world championship back on him is a step in the right direction to at least give you some of that feeling being restored. I feel like with him as the champion now, as the heel, because he's obviously a heel, he's going to now bring the main event scene. And I said this on Wednesday. He's going to bring the main event scene to be competitive. He's going to bring the main event scene to be interesting because he's a great heel and he's got some solid baby faces to work with there. And obviously we got one missing that's out right now. And hopefully we get him back relatively soon in Will Ospreay. But MJF being the champion right now is going to actually create some dialogue and some interesting scenarios with him as the champion with the other baby faces. So that's the most important thing. That's something Page did not have as a world champion. So I'm glad that MJF is going to actually do that now.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. He needs to be champ. They need him as champion more than anything else. So I mean, it's just gonna, to me, I guess at this point, it's just like, well, fuck how we got there. Let's just focus on going forward. Which I feel like is a stance they take way too often. I mean, sometimes it is about the build. I thought he was going to lose this one, and we were going to get a little bit of a chase for MJF, to be honest with you. Because I just didn't see why they would make Joe a transitional champion.
Well, why would he cash in the way that he cashed in on that Wednesday show, saying that I'm going to beat all four of you guys, or three of you guys, in this fatal four-way, and I'm going to prove to you that I can do it the way that you said I can't. And he wanted to shove it in Page's face. He wanted to shove it in Swerve's face. So, I mean, if MJF lost this match after cashing in the contract, he would look like a bigger geek than anybody else.
Yeah, but he can afford it. The standing problem was the top of the card sucked. And MJF showed up and told us what we all thought and then just proved it. That they all suck. Everybody sucks on this roster except MJF. That's the message I got over the last couple of weeks.
Well, I don't think he could have afforded it, honestly.
He can. I mean, he can, because you're right. He is the best goddamn thing on the show, so he can afford it. Joe is the biggest loser of all this shit. He's another transitional champion. they tried evening it out somewhat last week. I did pick up and watch Dynamite, and Swerve and Hangman got some comeuppance on MJF and pretty much sealed the fact that he was going to win by making him look like he was going to lose. And they got some revenge on him, but it still wasn't enough. He came out and buried everybody who we thought was the top of the card for the last few months. He came out and buried them in 5 fucking minutes.
Did you see that Swerve promo? What an awful promo that was, huh?
That's it, bro.
Mentioning Diddy 2 weeks in a row, or two weeks in a row, bro. Yeah. Why are we mentioning Sean Combs 2 weeks in a row?
So because it's pop culture.
But he's in jail for the next 5 years. Who gives a shit?
That's what companies do. They mention pop culture, bro.
Please. I would rather not mention a rapist on my program, but that's just me.
Hey, so we're gonna talk about that. Are we really gonna talk about Brock Lesnar then? Just
both companies are guilty of both things, man. What can I tell you?
Vince McMahon. So who's MJF's next challenger? Because he just made it clear that they all suck.
He's a heel. What do you want him to do?
He has nobody I'm interested in seeing him go up against right now because he just made it clear that they all fucking suck.
Listen, man, I just hope that there's a light at the end of this tunnel, honestly. Him as the champion needed to happen. I think him being the top guy there, I said this, and I'm genuinely curious if you agree with me. I don't want to start booking his future here, but he's a second-time AEW champion now. And after this, there really is nothing else for him to do. He's not going to be the type of guy that goes into a Continental Classic and wins the Continental Classic, because the Continental Classic is a waste of fucking time. That title is meaningless. Those titles that Okada's been holding are meaningless. It's so beneath MJF. So he doesn't need that. He doesn't need an Owen. He's already main evented Wembley, the first ever fucking in front of the largest crowd that they've ever had, 70,000. He's main evented that show. He's probably going to main event it this year with Will Ospreay if things align right. But two-time AEW champion, there's nothing more for this guy to achieve and accomplish in this company. To me, this is his last run here. And Excalibur said something along the lines that Tony Khan has extended MJF's deal, whatever the fuck that meant. Apparently, he's going to have a segment on Wednesday night where he's live in the ring with a microphone holding the championship up. Maybe championship celebration. I don't know. But I genuinely think that this is his last ride in AEW. And I think whatever they're going to do here, it needs to be top of the top. It needs to be great. So I don't know how much more he is going to want to achieve here before he departs, because I certainly see that he will be in WWE in the future, for sure. There's nowhere else for him to go, and there's nothing more for him to do here.
Man, I don't know. I can't see Tony Khan letting this guy walk out, man. He's going to have to walk out and drop a whole shit ton of money. I can't see him leaving the amount of money that Tony Khan's going to throw him to stay.
All right. Well, if he values his career as a pro wrestler, he's not going to achieve what he wants to achieve by staying an AEW star for the rest of his life. Well, and I mean that genuinely. And this has nothing to do with WWE or AEW and JD's a WWE shill. That's why he's saying that. No, this is the fact. This is somebody that we watched for 6 years. What more do you want to see him do? What do you think he is looking to achieve here after this title run? What is there for him to do? He's done everything. Well,
that's the story for them to tell us, I guess. I don't know. Everybody's gonna say, well, unless you go to WWE, you haven't done anything. I mean, everybody's gonna say that. I mean, they're the biggest company in town, of course.
I know, and I don't want to tell people how to make their money. And I'm sure Jesse's correct. Tony Khan's going to offer this guy the fucking vault to stay, but at some point, you got to put a value on you. You can't put a value on what Tony Khan is only going to pay you to keep you away from the competition. In my eyes, the way I look at it, Tony Khan is keeping him away from achieving to be the greatest of all time. You can't be the greatest of all time by wrestling in AEW for the rest of your life. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like, this guy, Max knows that if he goes to WWE, he's 30, he's not even 30 years old yet. Bro, he goes to WWE, you talk about the Braun Breakers, and, Paul Heyman's got the narrative, Braun Breakers going to be a WrestleMania main eventer for years to come. Bro, if MJF steps foot in that company, on year one, he's a main event WrestleMania guy. And for years, He's the one guy that would break. I don't want to say would break, but he would come dangerously close to at least Roman Reigns level of main eventing WrestleMania. You don't think that he knows that there's money over there doing that? Punk, Cody, bro, I don't give a shit how much money Tony Khan offers you, bro. If you're going to take that money, you're doing yourself a disservice. I would take less money to achieve superstardom and go to Hollywood even more so than he is now while doing the WrestleMania WWE thing and make your money. If it takes you 2, 3, 4 years to get there, he'll be making more money there than Tony Khan could ever pay him over a long-term investment. I don't know. I get what everybody else may be thinking. Some of you may be siding with Jesse. I don't see that as a good business move for him.
We don't know, but we don't. It's up to what he wants to do.
I know.
Man.
I know.
Money might not be an issue for him. He's getting movie roles, and Tony Khan's gonna offer him the world to stay. So maybe money is not a problem, but like you said, maybe career-wise, he just wants to go to WWE. He might go. He might not. We really don't know, man. That's the big mystery. The amount of money he can make in WWE is only going to go up the longer he stays and becomes a bigger star here in AEW. That's just going to make WWE want him even more.
True.
Offer him even more.
True. You know, now in the small bubble, everything he says is fact because we know it. I mean, we're marks. We watch this show on a weekly basis. We watch this shit every single week. So we know that he's one of the best in the world. He's one of the best heels in the business. We know how great he is. But not everybody knows. He's the great at what he does in AEW. We know, we're marks. He's great at what he does in the whole spectrum of pro wrestling. But for everybody else that don't know, they need to know what he does, and he can't achieve that without going to WWE. Those are just the facts.
Some people are of the belief that his shtick would not go over well in the corporate world and the publicly traded company and TKO. And he has to be neutered and mild and pretty much nowhere near the same level of MJF that we see him here in AEW. Some people are of that belief. Maybe WWE bends the rules and let the reins go a little bit to let him be more of himself. But he can't be the MJF we know him right now over there. That doesn't mean he can't make it work. The guy's a fucking genius in this business. He can do whatever people tell him that he can't do.
You know what the argument to that is, Jesse? A lot of people, and I've seen some narratives being thrown around out there. I'm always of the belief if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it does get boring after a while. You know, MJF comes back. He's the same MJF that we've seen, over 6 years. And that's great because it works for him here. But I feel like even though Max probably has a great mind for what he does and what he needs to do for his character and what he needs to do for AEW, there really isn't anybody there, from what I know, that tells him no. Like, Max probably has a good say over what he wants to do, who he wants to work with, etc., etc. There's no growth there as a character. I feel like if he is in WWE, they won't neuter him completely. Yes, they will, but not completely. But they'll also give him a different fucking shade of gray, and they'll give him something that he could actually expand his character with. That's what they're good at. I don't think MJF's going to come on in and be drastically different. He's going to come in with this same theme music. And honestly, we talk about Tony Khan offering MJF all this amount of money to stay. You don't think that drives WWE to throw the same amount of money at MJF that Tony Khan would just to take away MJF from AEW? So there's a whole other fucking narrative there, bro.
I think you may be wrong about that. TKO does not. They don't shell out that kind of money. They're not Vince. They're not going to shell out the fucking money just because it's a superstar talent. They have their fucking budgets and they have the fucking lines they have to stay under. They're not going to do that shit. It is not the Vince day anymore. TKO is all about their fucking money. They don't believe in MJF like Triple H fucking does.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think MJF is a fucking one of one, bro. You don't come across a talent like this. It takes forever to have someone like this walk into your fucking industry and have the sheer potential that he has. Like if Like, a lot of people ask me, JD, if you were holding a draft and you would do this and you would do that, who would be your number one pick out of anybody that you want in pro wrestling? I choose MJF every single time without a hesitation in my breath. Number one draft pick for my roster over anybody else.
We are marks.
I know.
He is not. Look how cheap he is in fucking UFC. He is not a mark like us, man. It is about the bottom line and the money. And he is not going to offer that kind of money to MJF as Tony Khan can and will. Tony Khan answers to nobody. Triple H has to convince Ari Emanuel to spend that fucking money. It's a difference, man.
Well, I mean, we're not there yet. The whole discussion is he's the champion now, but now the discussion is going to be where he goes with the championship and what AEW is going to set up for MJF in the future and who the next babyface is to take down MJF. It's not going to be Swerve, and it's not going to be Hangman. We've been there, done that. There's only one guy on the top of my brain, and that's Will Ospreay, and I think if he's back before Wembley in August, I think that's your guy, and that's your main event for that Wembley show in 2026 for Allin. Jon Moxley. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what I feel. Yeah. Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley was a big proponent of World's End tonight. He had 2 matches. One was fucking great with Kyle Fletcher. And then the other was a snooze fest with Kazuchika Okada. Jon Moxley, surprisingly, Jesse, won the Continental Classic. So I guess I'll start with you. Were you surprised to see Kazuchika Okada basically lay down after what we got with him and Takeshita in the opening match to come to that final with Moxley and lose? And Jon Moxley crowned the new C2 champion, the new Continental champion in 2025. Were you surprised by that decision?
I was very surprised. I don't get it. I mean, they just seemingly turned Moxley babyface in one night. And I don't know where that leaves the rest of the Death Riders. A lot of people in my chat thought they were going to jump him and turn on him right then and there in the ring. I didn't see it coming. I don't quite understand it, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know what kind of plans they have for it, but I don't know. I don't know why they had 2 heels in the previous match in the semifinals and another 2 heel match here, and that's probably why a lot of people really didn't care too much about it. Moxley is really good at what he does as far as telling the in-ring story, and he did sell the fact that he was working babyface in the Fletcher match, and Fletcher did a pretty good job at working heel in it. So you kind of got people invested there. But I still didn't see him winning. I mean, when I saw Fletcher chop the leg, I kind of had a feeling that he might win, but I still couldn't see them taking the belt off of Okada, and they did.
Yeah, this decision really confuses me because the whole tournament was built around Okada and Takeshita and the allure of a match between them two and the tensions that we've seen build up. They really haven't added any new layers to the story. It's just basic fucking paint-by-numbers stuff between Okada and Takeshita and the Don Callis family. There wasn't any real dialogue between them. Just a shove here, a shove there, a tag team mishap here, a tag team mishap there. Just really, really basic shit. But we got to this, and everybody thought coming into this, us included, that was going to be Okada and Takeshita in the finals. Now, Toni put them both in the semifinals. And that was the match that opened the show tonight. The match happened between Takeshita and Okada. And as far as the last 5 minutes, I thought they were great. The rest of the match, to me, was fucking underwhelming. Like, I felt like and I appreciate the slow start because you don't want to start off 100 miles an hour, but I thought it was going to build up to a little bit more. And when the match was over, we saw Okada basically take a screwdriver from one of the turnbuckle pads and stab Takeshita in the head with it to win, cheat to win. Now, we'll get to the whole breakdown of the match when we talk about it, but he cheated to win his match against Takeshita. So Okada goes to the finals. Moxley wrestles Fletcher, which I thought was a fucking great match. It was probably the best match, in my opinion, in the tournament. So we get Moxley and Okada in the final of the C2. Moxley wins the C2, and there's a couple of things that I find wrong with this. One, we just saw Okada beat Takeshita by cheating to win. So Okada goes into the finals to lose to Jon Moxley, which in my honest opinion was the wrong move. This tournament after Okada beat Takeshita should have been Okada's to win. So now all I'm looking at is you gave that win to Jon Moxley for what reason? The whole fucking point was to give Takeshita that win over Kazuchika Okada. So now Okada's been beaten. So when Takeshita eventually gets to Okada and he beats Okada, what's the fucking point? Okada should have won the C2. He should have won the fucking tournament. He should have took all that, retired Tanahashi, fucking went into the new year and had Takeshita beat him. So I don't really understand the point of that. Secondly, Jon Moxley won the fucking tournament and cut this rah-rah babyface promo that everything is great in AEW. This is where the best wrestle. And the C2 it's like a love letter to pro wrestling. Wasn't this the same Jon Moxley that wanted to kill AEW by giving everybody the vision of the Death Riders? Because there was a problem within AEW and he wanted to smarten everybody up about AEW and this is what they should do. Everybody should lead by example and follow the Death Rider way. Now we're going back to being pro AEW? And then he cuts this promo and the Death Riders are standing in the fucking ring, all giving him a standing ovation. Like, I'm waiting for them to fucking turn on him and beat his ass right there. Everything that he said was defiant against everything we got, Jesse, for 12 months. All I saw was them waste every second of our last year by having Jon Moxley cut that promo and basically disregard everything that we've gotten leading up to him losing that championship to Adam Page in Texas. I was dumbfounded by the amount of stupidity and the haphazard booking that we got to close that Continental Classic. Additionally, now, because of this loss to Jon Moxley by Okada, now we have an additional 2 championships on television that we didn't need because the championships aren't unified. So the way that I look at it is, Moxley's got the Continental title, but what does Okada really lose? He's still a champion at the end of the tournament. How ridiculous is that? What the fuck are we doing here, bro?
Wait, I thought the titles were unified.
No, Moxley is now the Continental Champion, and Okada is now the International Champion, bro. They're not unified anymore. There is no unified championship anymore.
Oh, no. So now basically we have another...
We have another 2 championships on television, and the International Championship is the same as it's the same as the National Championship that they just created for Ricochet. We have 2 championships operating under the same premise.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my God, bro. Please make it make sense, bro. Please. Please.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I didn't understand what they did with Moxley tonight at all. I'm not gonna lie. You're right. It's completely counterproductive against everything that he's been preaching to us when he walked around here with the AEW title in a briefcase. It made no sense. He's been a loser for the last few weeks, and he somehow won this tournament, and now he's a babyface for it. I can't explain this shit, man.
There should have been a turn, Jesse. There should have been a turn at the end of this tournament. As soon as he finished that speech, they all stood there and gave him a standing ovation. Claudio gave him a fucking hug. And now people are telling me, well, maybe the turn happens on Wednesday. Bro, if the turn happens on Wednesday, they all look fucking stupid for hugging and cheering on this guy after the end of this promo. So what's the point?
Yeah.
Why didn't the turn happen tonight? Does anybody know what the fuck they're doing?
They could have turned him before tonight, and they could have kicked him out, and he could have used that as motivation to get through this tournament and win that title. And which would have put him as a baby face coming into the tournament, and it would have made more sense for him to be a baby face and for the fans to get behind him because he got kicked out of the Death Riders and they were trying to stop him from winning. And this makes no sense, man. I would love for it to make sense. I can't say, I'm not going to say and try to justify this bullshit.
AEW now has the Continental Championship, the National Championship, the International Championship, and the TNT title. We have 4 mid-card championships in a company that is now overexposing championship belts And every single time I see a championship, another one loses more prestige and just it means nothing. I don't understand how you look at this and then deem this, oh, this is promotion of the year. This is exactly what we need to do, bro. Every single one of them means fucking nothing. Okada lost the tournament, bro. Look how ridiculous this sounds. Okada lost the tournament and is still a champion. In a championship, in a tournament where he goes and enters himself in that he don't even need to be in. The only reason why he's in is because they want to push the narrative that he's the best tournament wrestler of all time. He enters a tournament and loses nothing in a tournament where you enter yourself in with the fucking end goal of losing everything if you lose, bro.
That's crazy, man. That's fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
I am only gonna call this shit down the fucking middle, man. And that this was completely fucking stupid. I have no idea why they put Mox through this. I don't what kind of story arc was this? I don't know what the long-term plan was. I don't know what this was supposed to be doing here. I don't get it. I don't get it. You have the fans sitting there trying to figure out if they should even be cheering for this guy. Because don't forget, he was just telling them that he wants this company to burn. What do you want the fans to do? Like, how are they supposed to know where you're going with this shit? How are they supposed to forget? Because Moxley never came out and changed his mantra. He never came out and changed his ideologies. He never came out and changed anything. He just went into a match with another heel who was working more of a heel strat than him, and they were supposed to just cheer for him, I guess. And then he won. Then they did cheer for him, but with no explanation and no turn. I don't understand it, man. For all intents and purposes, we're supposed to be booing him, but through the end of this tournament, they made us look like we're supposed to cheer him with no explanation.
With no dialogue change or character change at all for the entire group. Now we're supposed to cheer them because Moxley went into a fucking match with Kyle Fletcher, who is a heel, and they wanted Jon Moxley to win by default because nobody wants to cheer for Kyle Fletcher. He's fucking boring. He's a great wrestler, but don't get me wrong, he's fucking boring. Jon Moxley is going to be cheered regardless because of the equity Jon Moxley has built up from all his years doing what he's doing. Like, who do you want me to cheer for? The semifinal matches, bro, they were all heels. Okada's a heel, Takeshi's a heel, Moxley's a heel, Fletcher's a heel.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand it, man.
They want me to be all right with Okada losing to Moxley when that should have been Takeshi's job to beat Okada. And Okada loses the Continental Classic, loses the Continental title, but he's still the international champion. He enters the tournament to lose, to still be a champion at the end of the tournament. And Jon Moxley's fucking mantra of AEW, there's something wrong with AEW, you gotta fix it, to going and fucking cutting a rah-rah speech like he's Dax Harwood. On AEW, everything's great. Now this tournament's great, and I love pro wrestling. And this is for the wrestlers and the fans. The wrestlers that you wanted to change. Bro, I can't believe it, man. Someone in the chat says, bro, you can't think this hard with this show. Then that makes everybody else fucking stupid. It does.
Look, I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I enjoyed the wrestling.
Even after these two discussions, bro, you still enjoyed it the same?
I enjoyed the show. Okay. I enjoyed the wrestling on the show. I don't understand how we got to any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But in a vacuum, just judging the show, I had fun watching the pay-per-view. That the wrestling is fine. Some of those matches didn't need to be, but most of them were fun, and they were nice to watch. The narrative behind them, I don't understand it. I don't understand how MJF became champion in the way that he did. We just went over the Mox thing, didn't get that. I don't know how we're supposed to care about FTR and the Gun Club. The creative behind everything is poor. It's all poor, and it's been poor. The wrestling is fine.
Oh my God, man! We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that FTR match, man. I swear to God, that was peak comedy. Those four out there. We'll get into it. Those were the two big happenings on this show. Jesse enjoyed the show. I enjoyed it less. This is your AEW Worlds End 2025 post show right here on Off the Script. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up down below. Really help us out by doing that. We have 2,300 people in here on a early Sunday morning during the Christmas holiday. So thank you to all that have joined us. And I'm sure that number will rise as soon as the AEW post-show media scrum ends, where nothing really happens at those anymore. And it's more of a, haha, I got in and you didn't type of deal from all the fake reactors. But we'll talk about the rest of the show. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out with you guys towards the end and read through all of your questions, comments, and concerns. Please go check out all the other content on the channel. We have the Friday Night SmackDown post show. We had no Wednesday Dynamite because that was Christmas Eve, and I did not want to waste my Christmas Eve with AEW. So we will be back at it in the new year. So Tuesday Night Titans was also live. We did what we could, man. It was our shortest episode to date. And we got our TNT Awards coming up on this coming Tuesday show. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And we have tonight's show. Monday night is live. Raw will be live on Monday. And then Tuesday Night Titans, that'll be the last stream of the year for myself. So please set your calendars and tune in, man. It's going to be a nice, fun ride as we close 2025. Jesse, what do you got going on over on your end there?
We have our watch-alongs, of course, right now. And in 2026, we are going to be overhauling the channel. New content, new designs, new videos to be uploaded, a whole bunch of different stuff going on over there. Stay tuned. If you have not subscribed, please do, because we need to make some major changes in 2026, man. Already talked to my guy right here about it, and changes are coming.
Yes.
TNA. I'm gonna pick TNA back up, and whole different slew of content is coming. Stay tuned.
Yes, we will definitely be addressing you guys with some changes here. All good changes, but we will definitely talk to you within the new year. Suplexus in the chat. I found it funny how they said the CC is most important tournament of the year when the Owen has bigger implications. Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't understand it, man. It's bro, the brain rot in that company is thick for sure. So please go follow Jesse on YouTube. Link is down below in the description, and on X at ChaiTalentSmark. And again, please hit that thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's AEW Worlds End. Let's start with this. We'll briefly run through this because I did have it on as background noise, the pre-show for the most part. Julia Hart and Sky Blue. She needed the money. Oh! They beat Maya World and Hyon, Jesse, in 6 minutes. They apparently now are all elite.
Yeah. I feel like that was done out of spite.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Somewhere Tegan Knox, Nixon Newell, is crying in her pillow. She has nobody to blame but herself.
Now, in fairness, and the proof is here that they did start a women's tag team division. So they do need women's tag teams. So maybe they were going to sign Tegan. I don't know. But it feels like that someone was the benefit of Tony Khan just trying to get back at someone who walked out on.
Yes, I am in the camp of believing that you go against or do something wrong to AEW, they will find ways to out-petty you, no doubt about it. So Julia Hart and Sky Blue win in 6 minutes. Eddie Kingston beat Zach Gibson of the Grizzled Young Veterans. Wow, they dug him up from somewhere. Where the fuck was he? Ring of Honor, I guess. Eddie Kingston wins in 6. Bro, it's amazing. Eddie Kingston wrestled for the AEW World Championship 2 weeks ago on Winter is Coming, and now back on the pre-show wrestling one half of a dead tag team on Ring of Honor television. On the pre-show.
There you go, man. Progression. Progression.
Company of the year, man. Promotion of the year. Eddie Kingston wins in 6 minutes. At the end of the match, Drake choked Eddie Kingston with a scarf, and Ortiz of LAX, Jesse, Proud and Powerful, made his return with a loaded sock to save Eddie Kingston.
Man. Woo.
Sure, Santana is crying into his pillow tonight, huh, bro?
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, my God. Bandito and Mascara Dorada. They wrestled Mark Davis and Rocky Romero on the pre-show. That went 8 minutes. You know, Jesse, Excalibur closed this match by saying, Bandito and Mascara Dorada got big things coming up as a team in 2026. Bro, what happened to Brody King and Brodito?
Look, man, I want to look into that and be like, I thought he already had a tag team partner. But the other side of me wants to, envision what I've been saying for the last year, and that Brody King needs to be in the main event scene.
Oh, well, Bandito also doesn't need to be in a fucking tag team either because he's great on his own as well.
Well, maybe. So be as it may, but Brody King needs to be in the main event fucking picture, and he can't do that if he's still in a tag team. So I'm assuming that they got bigger plans for Brody King. Now, Bandito, I know you're a big fan of his, but I'm sorry. To me, he blends in with all of the other luchadors in AEW. And that is just a me thing. Yeah, I mean, they all wear masks, they all do flippy stuff, and what I'm saying, they're all great wrestlers, but he doesn't stand out to me more than anybody else over there in a mask that is a luchador.
Well, I respectfully disagree on that. I think Bandito's great. He may be.
He was great.
Yeah, I know he's great.
Yeah,
he may. Some people say he's comeback wrestler of the year after the terrible injury that he had. But don't you think and don't you feel like when Brodito lost the tag team championships, the same thing happened to the division, the tag team division with FTR champions? It's not the same since they lost the belts. I mean, the tag team belts are on FTR and they've buried them away on Collision.
Oh, the title sucked because he puts them on FTR. I mean, that's why they suck now. And it's nothing to do with, what I'm saying? I mean, STR sucks, but Brody King is definitely main event material. And Bandito, I'm not saying he does not, exude the excellence that he does, but so does Hologram. So does the other. I mean, they are all great wrestlers, man. But I don't. I'm sorry, Bandito does not stand out from the rest of those guys. He is great, but the other ones don't suck. But character-wise, why would I care more about Bandito than the rest of them?
I don't know. At the end of this match, though, we got a vignette for El Clan, Jesse. Apparently, El Clan is prepped for big things in 2026. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
Coming to Collision in 2026. El Clan.
And they apologize for the
yes,
a little interruption.
Yes,
sorry,
I apologize for giving you this something that nobody asked for. Yes, El Clan.
Technical difficulties.
Sure thing, Excalibur. Kevin Knight, Speedball Mike Bailey, Jack Perry, and Luchasaurus against Josh Alexander, Ricochet, and the Gates of Agony. Jack Perry pins the national champion, Ricochet, and now is getting a national championship match on Wednesday's Dynamite, New Year's Eve. Apparently, there was a big knee. He pinned the champion, and that was that. The national champion, Jesse, already on the pre-show after winning it on the last pay-per-view they were on.
Did he appear in any indie shows yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Now he's holding the title that is very similar to the one Okada has. So how can we differentiate the two if they both do the same thing?
I have no idea what the hierarchy of these titles are. I have no idea the importance of them. And so for us to figure this out, we're going to have to look at the way that they book them. So we'll be able to tell what titles are important by the way that they book them. And that can't be a good thing.
No, this only proves my point from the last pay-per-view where we covered it. They only gave Ricochet a title to make him feel important because he's going nowhere. And he's waiting for his wife to come on in so that they could prep them to be the new evil duo, the new Mr. and Mrs. here for AEW. What are you wearing? 6'7"? What is that? Is that a Ricochet shirt?
No, man. What? Nah, this is my kid's Christmas pajama shirt.
I thought that was the amount of Ricochet losses he's had since he's joined AEW, because all he does is take pins.
Oh, come on. Nah, my kids picked out a 6-7 Christmas shirt.
Ricochet knows exactly what my hairstyle is, and he always has a thing to say about my fucking hat. Apparently, he thinks my hat stinks. I get it dry cleaned every 3 weeks. Thanks a lot, bro. Thanks for watching the show. It's a lot of commitment there to kind of look around and see what JD looks like on stream there, right?
How are you communicating with Ricochet?
He tweeted at somebody about my long hair and my hat, which apparently because they could smell the hat through the television through the camera.
Gotcha. Nah, I forget. I don't hang out.
How do you care for your hats, Jesse? You wear that hat a lot on the stream. How come nobody mentions anything about Jesse's White Sox hat there?
I don't know. I don't fucking dry clean it either. It sits right here on my desk. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
I have 3 of these hats. They won the World Series in 2021. You didn't think I bought multiple fucking hats? It's probably the last time they'll be in the World Series until I'm in the fucking grave.
Oh my
Let me enjoy it, please. So they have a good team next year.
Ricochet wants to talk about someone covering their head. Does he want to go there? Yeah.
Yes. He's very envious of those who have hair. Yes.
Does he want to go there? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
World's End opens up with Okada and Konosuke Takeshita. Quite the way to open the show here. This was on everybody's to-watch list. Apparently, a lot of people were thinking that this was going to be one of the matches of the year. It may end up being the match of the year for all we know. But we got it. It was good. It wasn't match of the year. But it felt a little sluggish, Jesse. It felt a little slow up until the last 5 minutes, which I thought were really good. At the end of it, and Okada got the win in the way that he got the win, which we'll talk about. It felt incredibly underwhelming. And Okada got the win over Takeshita. And I know that they did the ending the way that they did because there is going to be another match. Now, I looked at it in a couple of ways. First of all, number one, whoever wins this match has to wrestle twice tonight. So I guess they wanted to kind of take it easy because I felt like they held a lot back here and they wanted to do more, but it was probably best for both of them not to do it. The both of them have a big next couple of weeks. Okada is going to retire Tanahashi, and Takeshita is the IWGP champion, and he's got a big match coming up at Wrestle Kingdom. Neither one of them wanted to go in there limping or, worst case scenario, get hurt before a big Wrestle Kingdom show in January. Secondly, for a first match, they didn't want to give away everything too soon because with the way that they did the ending, there's inevitably going to be a second match. So taking all these different factors into play here, I felt like this is what made the match a little bit underwhelming. What did you think about the opening match here between Okada and Takeshita? Did you feel the same way?
I thought the match was pretty good. I thought the ending felt a little weird and flat. But the match itself was fine. I personally, I just wish they wouldn't have done this match here and just drug the story out a little bit longer. I know we, quipped about it, going a whole year. You don't have to go a whole fucking year. But the first match is always going to be the most important one. After that, it's just going to be them running it into the ground. The second match, the third match, fucking fourth match. They're all going to run together. I mean, the first one is supposed to be the important one. And the match was good. It was fine. There was nothing wrong with the match, and it's going to start off slow. Whenever you see the matches start off slow, then we're in for a long match. We're in for a 20, 25-minute match. You can't start off, flying out of the gate. You still got a whole 20-something minutes to go. So they're going to pace it. They're going to get in the second gear, get in the third. These guys are good. When Okada doesn't phone it in, he's still one of the best. Unfortunately, he still phones it in sometimes.
Yeah. I would not be surprised to see the likes of some of the Okada detractors out there saying that he phoned it in here, which I would not be in disagreement with. Honestly, it did feel a little phoned in here, especially with a lot of what's coming up in the next couple of weeks for both guys. This match was okay. Looking at this on paper, you would think that this is the best match in the entire fucking tournament. You look at it on paper, it may end up being the best match in the entire history of the Continental Classic, but it was not anywhere close to that. This was a semifinal match, and the way we got to the ending was we got a poison rana, nasty poison rana by Takeshita on Okada. And a power driver knee. Okada kicked out after a Takeshita cover for 2. Okada was sent into the corner, and then he grabbed the screwdriver hidden in the turnbuckle pad. So they kind of messed up this spot where Takeshita ducked an initial charge and was supposed to send Okada into referee Paul Turner, who just ended up standing there, Jesse. Please tell me you saw this. Okada has this long yellow screwdriver. He's trying to conceal it from Paul Turner, the referee. And Paul Turner was so out of position that he did everything but fucking look at the screwdriver. He tried to pretend the screwdriver wasn't there after I know he saw the screwdriver being held by Okada and looked elsewhere. He was like, oh, I see the screwdriver, but let me pretend that I didn't see the screwdriver. Okada had it concealed in his tummy, and something was going on there. So apparently, Paul Turner saw this. He stood there awkwardly. He had to turn around for no reason because he saw the screwdriver. He was distracted by whatever. This allowed Okada to deck Takeshita with the screwdriver and get the pin, hiding the evidence in his trunks afterwards. Callis briefly checked on Takeshita before celebrating with Okada on the ramp, leaving Takeshita in the ring following this loss. What'd you think of that Paul Turner spot?
I never saw any of it. What do you mean? He had to check on the cameraman. So the cameraman was down there doing something. He had to look down there. You know, he couldn't. Why didn't they just bump the referee?
I don't know.
Why didn't they just bump the referee?
Why is it this place makes their referees look like a fucking clown show, bro? I don't understand it.
It's so simple. It's pro wrestling 101. Just bump the fucking referee. He dies for 45 seconds. You do your dirt and you wake him up. Why would you leave him up incoherent and leave him to look around like a goddamn idiot? Why would you do that? If you're not going to use the screwdriver right away, then dump it. You can't carry it around in the ring. The ref's standing there looking. You just bump him. What is the problem here?
I don't know, bro. It's peak comedy, bro. I mean, the whole spot looked fucking ridiculous. And the screwdriver apparently came into play, or was supposed to come into play in the following match, and nobody made a mention of it after the fucking Fletcher match was over. Nobody. Which we'll get into in a second. Apparently, Fletcher was supposed to use the screwdriver, and Okada knew the screwdriver was there because Fletcher had planted it there, supposedly, and Fletcher was wanting to use it against Moxley, and then when he went to go get it, it wasn't there because Okada used it. So I don't know how that's going to come into play on Wednesday, but that's what the story was there. This was an okay match. A lot of people wanted this to be the match of the tournament, the match of the year. Nowhere near. They weren't going to give you everything in match 1. There's inevitably going to be a match 2. Okada is going to wrestle Tanahashi in his final match in a couple weeks, literally a week. And then Takeshita is the IWGP champion. And we talked about what we talked about in the beginning. I'm sure we'll reiterate that. This was an okay match. It wasn't the barn burner that everybody was expecting to be. I felt very underwhelmed to open this show. Kyle Fletcher and Jon Moxley. This was the other semifinal match. So we had 4 heels in the semifinals of the Continental Classic. This was more of a final than the actual final was. I wish this was actually the final, because the final we got was fucking boring. Jesse, if people... I'm sorry, again.
Which is normally par for the course in tournaments. The NFC and the AFC championship games are normally better than the Super Bowl. The Western Eastern Conference finals are normally better than the finals themselves. That's actually kind of par for the course.
I guess. I mean, they are in control of their own fate. I mean, they could do what they need to do here, but we got a better semifinal than an actual final here. So I guess Jesse's analogy is correct. But Moxley and Fletcher, if you argued with me that this was the match of the tournament, I would not argue with you back. This was my favorite match of the entire tournament. So Fletcher, we'll pick it up here because this was the one spot that everybody's going to be talking about for weeks and weeks to come. And I know Jesse seen this, and I'm sure he was thinking the same thing that we all were. Fletcher had a submission hold. He cranked back on a submission hold. Moxley was able to get a bulldog choke coming out of an ankle lock. And he got the bulldog choke, and Fletcher's face started turning purple. So he cranked on the injured ankle. Fletcher broke free, got the ankle lock with a grapevine. Moxley swiped and managed to get to the ropes with the crowd loudly in support of Jon Moxley. Moxley made a comical reach for the ropes. He was there, and I found myself yelling at the TV, "Grab the rope, you fucking idiot!" He was right there at the ropes, and he's pretending like he's struggling to get to the ropes. He was there. So he got to the ropes. Fletcher wanted his avalanche brainbuster. Moxley, he bit at Fletcher's head, slid out, crotched Fletcher, and hooked a rear naked choke, but had to break. And then he switched to an avalanche cutthroat suplex, which is the spot everybody's going to be talking about. Jesse, Jon Moxley, with his avalanche suplex off the top rope, dropped Fletcher on his fucking head, on his neck, and they actually showed the replay, and it looked fucking much worse in the slow motion replay than it did when it actually happened live feed. Now, I understand that, AEW is a company that likes to outdo themselves, and they feel like the only way they can do that is by doing these big risky moves and fucking nearly ending someone's life or career. Bro, Fletcher is not... How old is Fletcher? 26, 27 years old?
Something like that.
I don't know, and I'm not a pro wrestler, but I can only speak on just the common sense of it. They feel like this was needed. Bro, if you omitted this spot from the match, it's still a 5-star match. Like, I don't understand the necessity here to risk someone's fucking life, never mind career, life, the way he landed here. Why this was necessary. Fletcher's going to look back at this shit and then wonder why when he's laid up in a fucking hospital bed needing fusion neck surgery in 4 years. Why am I here? What happened? This is the reason why you're there. Like, we don't need to do this type of shit, bro. I mean, I get that they want to make it look realistic, but at the end of this fucking match, which we'll detail in a little bit, there was finisher spam after finisher spam after finisher spam. Jon Moxley got the fucking Death Rider on him. He sits up and goes up the aisleway and attacks Jon Moxley before he does that at the end of the match. And he stood there like nothing fucking happened. I hate this shit, bro. I really do.
It was, I'm assuming the spot was a mistake. I'm assuming it was a botch and he wasn't so. I'm assuming the plan was not to land Fletcher on his goddamn head and neck, and it was just a botch. And just willing to chalk it up as a mistake and a botch that went terribly wrong and could have killed that poor man. And I'm really hoping the plan was not to land him on his head and neck like that. Because that was scarier than shit. And you're right. The replay looked much worse.
I don't know.
I don't know if he was supposed to go all the way over or if he was supposed to land flat. I'm not sure, but either way, it went terribly wrong. Thank God that he was strong enough to, get up and continue through it. But we have seen wrestlers take bumps like that, finish the match, then it turns out they have a fractured neck. So,
yeah, for a company that wants to claim that they're fucking safe, this was anything but safe. You don't need to do this type of shit. This is a future piece of your company, supposedly, and you're letting him go out there and Jon Moxley go out there and risk this kid's fucking life. Be responsible for once in your fucking life. None of this shit needs to happen. Whether it's pay-per-view, Dynamite, Collision, Dark, Rampage, none of this shit needs to happen. You're seeing this shit on weekly fucking television on Saturday night in front of 195,000 fucking people. Like, why do we need to risk life and limb for this? For what? He's 26 years old. Like, he doesn't have the rest of his fucking career to look forward to. You want to end it on a fucking night that nobody gives a shit about the fucking Continental Classic. It's unbelievable to me. So, it looked even more ridiculous when we get to the end. Bryan Danielson questioned if there needed to be more referees because he even thought, sitting on commentary, that it was fucking bad. Fletcher couldn't get to his feet. Moxley delivered a curb stomp, completely spiking Fletcher again on his fucking head. And then he nearly caught Moxley with a crucifix pin for a 2 on a counter. So he just got dropped on his head, curb stomped on his head, and then countered like nothing fucking happened. It should have been the end of the fucking match. So Fletcher exploded up, thrust kick. Moxley kicked out at a 1, fired up. Fletcher met him with a haluva kick, shoe drop, brainbuster. Moxley kicked out. Moxley kicked out at a 1. He flipped off Fletcher, dropped him easily, flipped the crowd off, Bryce checked on Moxley. Fletcher scurried to try and find the screwdriver, only Okada had used it earlier, so Okada knew it was there. Fletcher was supposed to use it. Okada used it instead. So when Fletcher went to use it, there was nothing there. So this distraction allowed a quick pin attempt by Moxley. Rear naked choke. Fletcher countered into a 2. Paradigm shift planted Fletcher. Kicked out. Death Rider landed. Fletcher kicked out. This guy got dropped on his fucking head. Nearly ended his career. And then he takes 2 of Jon Moxley's signature moves and kicks out. It's AEW. It's AEW. Moxley quickly locked in a rear naked choke. Fletcher rose to his feet, faded, ultimately passing out, giving Jon Moxley the win. Fletcher then immediately regained consciousness in the post-match, screamed that he didn't tap out. He charged at Moxley, shot blocked him because the leg was a story in the match, which they didn't even give a shit about when he got to the Okada match. And he walked off, walking up the ramp as Moxley struggled to his feet. So Moxley struggled to his feet, and Fletcher did not, and pretended like nothing fucking happened in the closing moments of this match. Please make it make sense. And then you wonder why nobody takes this company seriously. Do you know how ridiculous that looks looking back at it? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. What are you supposed to do? I mean, I don't think he was supposed to land on his head and neck.
But he did.
But he did. So I don't know if he was change the whole, go home spots because of it. I mean, I don't know. Or if he's good to go, do you continue with what you had planned?
But this is the reason why people say Kyle Fletcher is never going to be the wrestler that everybody knows he could be unless he leaves AEW. There's no reason, bro. There's absolutely no way I'm watching this and I'm looking at this. Yeah, this is a great match, and I'm not questioning what the fuck happened here. The guy got dropped on his head and took a paradigm shift and a Death Rider and kicked out. And then they thought, well, let's put him in a rear naked choke and have him pass out. We'll show everybody that he's got huge intestinal fortitude, and we'll make him into a guy in a loss. We'll make him into a star in a loss to Jon Moxley. Meanwhile, everybody's looking at this saying that Kyle Fletcher probably should have won the fucking tournament. Never mind. But how do you look at this and say, yeah, we'll go about that. He'll be a bigger star for it. Bro, he took everything that Moxley dished out, almost broke his fucking neck, ended his career, and he stands there like nothing fucking happened. How am I supposed to agree with that?
I definitely would have had Fletcher or Takeshita to win this tournament, though. One or the other.
Moxley's the one limping off, and he did nothing but a fucking ankle lock. Meanwhile, this guy got fucking mauled in the ring, and he's standing there like nothing happened. I don't know, man. I don't know. Why am I trying to make sense of this shit? I don't know. I'm just completely just befuddled at some of the things that they do. Moxley wins. It was a great match. Crowd was into it. 2 heels. They ended up going pro Moxley because at this point, it's either Moxley or bust for the crowd. Nobody wants to cheer Fletcher. Fletcher has given them absolutely no reason to cheer for him. He's a great wrestler, but he's got no character. Who is he? What type of character? He's a Will Ospreay clone. That's all he is. He's a poor man's version of Will Ospreay, who dresses like Shawn Michaels in the fucking 90s. What he's trying to be. So Moxley wins, and he goes on to wrestle Okada in the finals of the Continental Classic, which happened a little bit later.
I think Fletcher would benefit a lot more if the Don Callis family wasn't a Don Callis family. If it was just Kyle Fletcher and Don Callis, that's it. One guy.
Well, it ain't helping him.
Now, all these other guys are just kind of just saturating everything. He's not standing out as special anymore. Don Callis should have one guy. He should literally be like a Paul Heyman.
Well, how could he stand out, bro, when he's got Takeshita, Okada, El Clan next to him? You know?
Yeah, you got like 400 people in the group. I mean, it's a lot.
El Clan. You didn't get the El Clan reference. He's a superstar, bro. You know what?
I don't know. I don't get it. What happened?
He's standing next to El Clan. El Clan's a superstar, isn't he? He's a Mexican legend, isn't he?
I guess so. But no, but I think the Don Callis fan. I think I think if it was just him and Don, it would be so much more beneficial for Fletcher to make him a top star. It would be much more important. But now he's just a guy in a big ass group that no one knows the direction of. So, I don't know.
I don't know. Great match, but my God, the closing moments of this match were, I mean, they would leave anybody just like asking, what the fuck? Seriously. FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood with Stokely versus the Bang Bang Gang, Juice Robinson and Austin Gunn. Tag team title match here, contested in a Chicago street fight. Couldn't help themselves.
Nah.
You know, Jesse, FTR supposedly is the Sports Illustrated Tag Team of the Year. Tag Team of the Year, Jesse, who needed to resort to plunder to generate any interest in their title defense here against a team that nobody in this crowd gave a shit about. And a match that nobody gave a shit about, bro. How do you feel about the Chicago street fight here for the AEW Tag Team titles with the Tag Team of the Year and FTR?
Nah, I didn't care about it at all. I didn't care about the feud going into it, obviously, but even the match itself didn't quite do it for me though. Like this is one of the matches that just didn't need to be on the show at all.
No,
like,
this was a Collision main event.
Yeah, going into it, I didn't think it needed to be on the show, and then coming out of it after watching it, same thing. Yeah, it didn't need to be on the show. I didn't enjoy it at all.
All I think about watching this type of nonsense is, man, do I miss Jay White?
Yeah, I always miss Jay White, man.
So this was as uneventful as it comes here for the tag team, supposed tag team of the year, which they're not. The Hardys are the tag team of the year. Don't be fooled. So how we looking on Juice's beard, Jesse? What percentage we at?
No, there is no more progress on Juice. It is now the mullet.
Oh, it's stalled, huh?
It's done.
Okay.
It's done. There is no more focus on his beard. It's all about the mullet at this point.
Okay.
And the mullet doesn't fit him for me.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, at some wrestlers, the mullet works, but for Juice, I'm not feeling the mullet, though.
No, we'll pick it up at the end here because this was a waste of everybody's time. The tag team division has suffered greatly with FTR as its champions, but they're the tag team of the year, so everybody is very manipulated and confused as to why they won the distinction of tag team of the year. So the tag team titles, they were all over Dynamite. Division was fruitful and prosperous with Bro Dito as the champions. And now we haven't seen them since on Wednesday night. They're buried on Saturday Night Collision. So you can thank FTR for that. But apparently there was a tug of war here. Robinson sent Stokely off the apron that was supposed to have Stokely go through the table, but he missed. And he landed hard on the outside with the table flipping over on him. It was a low blow by Harwood as Robinson turned into a shatter machine. Gunn broke the count. Famous or missed by Gunn as Harwood hit a pile driver on a trash can. Gunn kicked out. FTR quickly hit a spike pile driver, rolled through, placed the tag team title down, hit another, busting Austin Gunn open and getting the 1, 2, 3. The Gunn Club, I would love to see the Guns, when they get back to being healthy, have a run. This team with Juice doesn't fit with just one gun, Jesse. But FTR, man, they generate absolutely zero interest, man. I think FTR secretly stands for find the remote, quite honestly. I mean, what happened to these guys?
I don't know. I was never interested in winning those titles again. I just feel like they were brought in to feud with the Elite, and anything else they do is just not interesting at all.
They got brought into feud with the Elite. They were made tag team champions. They dropped them to Cope and Christian whenever they decide to come back to work. They're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, Jesse. FTR.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to fucking explain them, man. I don't know, because as wrestlers, they're great. They understand the tag team psychology. They get it. I mean, they are great, but they just don't interest me.
No.
When it comes down to them being on TV, I'm just being real about it. I'm keeping it a buck, man. When their promos happen, no, nothing. When they wrestle, the matches are great. The matches are fun. But the whole thing started when they were in WWE and the Bucks were here and they're good friends, and then the social media rivalry came along and everybody wanted to see them finally go at it, and then they were brought over and we did, and then when they did other things, it just wasn't interesting. And then when they faced the Bucks, it was. And then when they didn't, it wasn't. And then when they faced the Bucks again, now that's less interesting. And now I just don't find them interesting at all.
Imagine they lose the titles to the Bucks now that the Bucks are babyface. Is that a possibility?
Probably. You know it's coming. I mean, I would rather see that than anything else that FTR does.
Do we even know if Cope and Christian are still with the company?
I don't know. I do not know, man.
Oh man, I don't know what happened to these guys, man. Once upon a time, they were fucking. I mean, without hesitation, best tag team on the planet. Now they are as fucking boring as dishwater, and like I genuinely don't know. He puts more effort into making AI generated T-shirts with my likeness on it than he does into his fucking tag team title run. How sad is that? FTR wins. Bang, bang, gang. We thought that they had a great division. Where did all these teams go?
That's a good question. That's creative, man.
Where did all these tag teams go? We're left with the fucking Bang Bang Gang, who's not even the Bang Bang Gang is fucking injured. The main part of the Bang Bang Gang is off television for fucking 9 months now.
And now the hard part is going to be getting them back on TV and getting the interest back that they had before they left.
Yes. FTR wins and retains the titles. Where they go from here, who the fuck knows? And we're just waiting for Cope and Christian to come back, if they're even still with the company. Nobody knows. Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron against Mercedes Moné, who is still the TBS champion for now, and Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena. This is for the AEW Women's Tag Team Championships. This was basically put on the show because Mercedes can't have a pay-per-view where she takes the night off, so they needed to get her obligatory pay-per-view payday. Babes of Wrath won the tournament, Jesse. I think they made the right decision there, but clearly they don't have any other competition outside of a Mercedes and Athena tag team, which is not really a tag team. They were just randomly paired together in the tournament, and then they wanted another shot at the titles for whatever reason. But we got the Babes of Wrath winning here, and Mercedes takes the pinfall, whereas Athena in their tournament match, Athena took the pinfall loss. So they are playing heavily into the fact that Mercedes is melting down and struggling with the fact that she cannot win anymore after a successful year of winning and doing nothing but winning. How do you feel about Mercedes losing, bro? Do you get a sense of like story here? Do you care now that she's finally losing, or is it just too little too late?
I didn't care that she had the titles. I don't care that she's losing them. I really don't. I want to see something more of a story than just she has titles and now she's losing the titles. That's not an interesting story to me because I don't even agree with how she got all of these damn titles. So the fact that she's losing them is not drawing interest from me. And if it did, then they would be like, well, that's why we gave her the titles, because it'd be interesting to watch her lose them. It's not. I'm not feeling the character. I'm not feeling the gimmick, and I'm not feeling the storylines that she's been involved with. They're just not there for me. Off the top of my head, the most interesting thing I can remember seeing with Mercedes is her interaction with Harley Cameron.
With the puppet.
With the puppet. Yep. It was funny. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably because Harley Cameron made it fucking funny. But just having a bunch of titles is not a story. And it's definitely not one that I'm interested in. So her losing them, that don't do it for me either. I want to see an interesting interaction. I'm sorry. What else? She did some. Her feud with Kris Statlander was kind of good too. But for the most part, no. The storyline with Toni Storm and Mariah May was an interesting storyline. That was an interesting storyline. Mercedes having a bunch of titles is not an interesting storyline.
Well, it's not really a storyline.
That's her storyline. That she's whatever belts Moné. That's her storyline. That is literally her storyline in the company.
That's a storyline for Mercedes. It's not really a storyline for AEW.
Well, that's why it's not interesting though. So am I interested she's losing these titles? No. I want to see her in a better storyline than she has titles and she's losing them now.
Listen, AEW, they thought, Mercedes thought, AEW thought, Tony Khan thought that they had this grand idea. You'll come in, you win the TBS championship, and then all of a sudden, magically, you start winning 1, 2, 3. It's materialized now into fucking 13 titles that she's had, 14 titles. And then by the time we got to 14 titles, they have drove away every single person that legitimately should care about what's going on with this woman and these titles and this division. They drove and actively drove everybody away because of the sheer ridiculousness of it. And now they're asking us to care because she's now melting down. She's using fucking curse words on television and breaking mirrors and locker rooms and trashing locker rooms like she went on an all-night binger drinking. So I don't understand why anybody would expect me to fucking care when you done nothing to give people a reason to care. You actively drove everybody away with her winning and winning and winning and winning. You know, your people love a winner. I get that. But when one team wins so many fucking championships, that hatred is something that is very palpable. You know, I've had that watching the Yankees win championships, and I couldn't fucking, the team of the 90s, right? How many fucking championships did they win? Nobody liked the fucking Yankees. If you were a Yankee fan, you were fucking, either you're from New York and you're a genuine Yankee fan, or you're a bandwagon fan. So I don't understand. I'm feeling the same way about the Dodgers now. The more you win, the more you're going to be hated. That's exactly what they're doing. And it's not working out well for Mercedes, Jesse, because the more she wins, the less people are going to fucking care about when she loses these championships, no matter who she loses the championships to. And the people that she loses the championships to, it's not like there's some story going into it. It's just a random match just to get the fucking belt off of her to move on to the next person to lose the next belt to. So yeah. What are we doing here? What is it building towards? She's losing and losing and losing to what? Win the one big one. And what is that going to do for everybody?
Nothing. And there was a thing too. Where he was like, well, who's being put over? Who is she putting over? Who is being elevated working with her?
I don't know.
Nobody. You
know something that people aren't really taking note of. AEW is going back to Australia in February. You don't think that AEW is already thinking about doing Statlander, a rematch between Statlander and Toni Storm in Australia? You know, how much do you want to bet that they're already thinking about putting the belt on Toni Storm again for a 5th time? Having her win the title back from Statlander, and then when Mercedes loses all these championships, Mercedes gets her win back over Toni Storm and wins the big one over Toni Storm. They'll probably. This is just the way that I feel. This is just me. Don't take it as gospel. I feel like Tony's going to win the championship again, and the only person that Mercedes wants to win the championship from, because it's going to be a bigger deal on her than anybody else, is Toni Storm in a rematch from this year's All In. I think they're going to do it again at Wembley, and Mercedes is going to beat Toni Storm for the championship after losing everything going into that match. Could you see that being a possibility?
Absolutely. Why not? I mean that you first off, Toni Storm has not been the same since she gave up her title.
No.
So you know they're going to put the title back on her. So, and yeah, I could absolutely see Mercedes going after. I mean, whether or not they do it in Australia, I don't know. I'm not sending Toni Storm to Australia to lose.
No.
You know, that's just me though. So that be's really, really bad.
Yeah.
It would be really fucking bad, man. But they're definitely gonna make her champion again. They're gonna have to at some point, unless they plan on rotating or signing someone new. All these titles are gonna end up just rotating through the women's division, you know. But yeah, I can see her definitely beating Toni Storm for the women's world championship, the one that she has not won yet.
You know, did she? I got up and made myself a cup of coffee. Did she come out with any of her championships tonight, except for the TBS title?
No, just one.
Not one single championship that she has currently was showcased on television.
Yeah, just one. Unless I miss someone carrying them around or some shit.
No, I got up to go make a coffee because there's no breaks in these shows. They just go from one match to the next. So I had to find a way to get my caffeine intake in. So that's what happened here. But this was Mercedes taking the pinfall here. There was some miscommunication between the heels in this match. We'll pick it up towards the end. Cameron connected on a cross body. Double crucifix on Athena and Moné before tagging Willow back in for the hot tag. Soul Food spinning backdrop combo. Moné made the save off a pin. Nightingale tried to slingshot Athena, who turns it into an O-face on Cameron, which looked great. Backstabber into a statement maker on Nightingale, but Moné wrenched back. Nightingale powered into a DVD. Athena tried to break the count, but collided with a Mercedes as Moné got up, missed Nightingale, and accidentally hit Athena. So, tit for tat, miscommunications here between Mercedes and Athena. Nightingale squashed both in the corner with splashes and clotheslines before going up top, only to be cut off. Athena used Moné to deliver a superplex powerbomb combo before an assisted gory bomb. Cameron broke up the count, leading to a double cross body attempt from Cameron and Athena, and all the women are down. Athena gets back, fires off a series of kicks. Cameron answered with her finishing move. Mercedes was up and dropped Cameron with a Moné maker. Tried the same on Willow, who countered into a roll-up for a flash pin on Mercedes. And Willow beats Mercedes and retains the tag team championships for her and Harley Cameron. As a result of Willow pinning Mercedes, they booked the match on Wednesday. TBS championship will be on the line. It will be Mercedes defending the title against Willow on New Year's Smash, AEW Dynamite. Are we looking at a new champion on Wednesday, Jesse, with Willow?
No.
You don't think Willow's going to win the TBS title?
No. No. Why would she? She's already a champion.
Who else on that roster, in that division, would you deem worthy of taking the TBS title off of from Mercedes? Tekla, Jesse. Tekla.
Yes. Tekla needs the title, man.
No, I think that, honestly, I think you're correct. I think that should be the last title she loses.
Yeah.
She'll lose everything else and then lose that one. Maybe she'll lose it to Athena. Maybe we'll get to Double or Nothing and they'll do Athena versus Mercedes. Wait a minute, that can't happen at Double or Nothing. She would have to enter the Owen to win the right to wrestle Toni Storm if that's the case. She may lose these before the Owen starts, and then she'll enter the Owen, win the Owen again for a second year in a row, and then maybe challenge Toni Storm at All In. Maybe.
That'd be something fresh, man. I would love to see Tekla in a singles title feud.
Oh, you know what it is? Wembley is happening in August, not happening in July this year. So Double or Nothing, she could lose the TBS title at Double or Nothing, and then the Owen would take place after Double or Nothing as we go into August. So it's later this year. So that could actually work out. I do think that should be the last title she loses, though, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I don't care.
No, nobody cares.
I don't care about which title she loses and when she loses them. I look, if she's in a feud that I care about and she loses said title in said feud, great. But just the fact that if she loses, book a match next week, no feud, no interest, loses the title, I don't care. But if she's in like a 4-week build and this title's on the line and there's an interesting story behind it and she loses the title in that feud, then I'll care. I just don't care that she lost the title. Okay, how? In what fashion? In what story? What kind of match? What was the build? I need something more than just her gaining or losing a title. That's not interesting to me at all.
No, I agree 100%. There's no story here. Or especially with her losing these championships. It's going to be one after another, losing the title to random women just to get them off of her.
Yeah.
So, again, they did more harm than good here with Mercedes holding these championships. But they lost this match. Willow's getting a title match for the TBS title on Wednesday. And we'll see what happens there. Darby Allin. Speaking of nobody cares, Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd. This was a one-on-one match. One-on-one match that had no stipulation behind it, yet they were bleeding fucking buckets out there as if this was a Texas death match. Again, I don't know why we needed this on this show. Jesse, how difficult is it for you to watch something like this, to see someone like Gabe Kidd be featured on AEW television? No rhyme or reason. He just shows up when he wants to, Gets no TV time, yet the company asks you to care about Gabe Kidd's inclusion here when they've given you nothing back as far as a reason to care about Gabe Kidd.
Well, that's why this was one of the matches I just didn't need to see on this card. I didn't care about it coming into it. I didn't care during it. I love Darby. Love Darby. I would rather see Darby, in a feud with someone else that I, care about, Darby, one of my favorite feuds is Darby versus Brody King. That was so good. These guys are fucking fighting at Comic-Con and shit, man. Fucking they're on the fucking Brody King's on stage with his fucking metal band and he's fucking throwing fucking Darby off the fucking stage. That was fun. I mean, Darby in the feud with Gabe Kidd, someone that they've built no kind of interest in. I'm not interested in it. I don't care. No, so I don't know why this needs to be on the pay-per-view. It's not a pay-per-view worthy match. It's fine for Dynamite. It's fine for Collision. It's not something that I'm going to ask people to pay $50 for.
It's crazy. The last time first of all, Darby was in the Continental Classic. They had to take him out of the Continental Classic because he got injured in a match with Kevin Knight. So they had him laid up in a hospital, getting better. They replaced him with Jack Perry. Gabe Kidd's been off television for months. The last time we saw Gabe Kidd was when AEW had their residency at the ECW Arena this summer. The last time we saw Gabe Kidd is when he was chloroformed on Dynamite and put in a body bag as Darby Allin dragged him off in the back of a pickup truck as he was hogtied in this body bag, driven away as he was dragging him behind the pickup truck. It's the last time we saw Gabe Kidd. I don't even know how this match came about, why this match came about, why this was added to the show tonight. I mean, did they do anything to give me any sort of reason why this match came about, Jesse, with any happenings on television? Anything?
Well, I mean,
was there a promo?
Well, yeah. Gabe Kidd, I think he was the one that rode Darby down the stairs.
Oh, they threw him down the stairs again.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and they revisited that, and Gabe Kidd showed us how he enjoyed watching Darby's face, bounce off the stairs and everything. And yeah.
Oh, so that's the reason why they added this match to the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some solid grade A Academy Award winning storytelling right there.
I mean, I just feel like Darby should have more important things to worry about than Gabe Kidd.
Well, I don't know why Darby would want to save the fucking company from the Death Riders now that Jon Moxley's pro AEW. What sense does that make?
Yeah.
Do they realize that Darby Allin beat an assassin for the Death Riders while Jon Moxley went pro AEW tonight? I mean, does Darby Allin's stance even matter anymore against the Death Riders? I'm asking questions that I don't even think AEW knows the answers to.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Again, the logic holes and the gaps in their stories and their builds, they're huge. They're unexplicable. I don't understand them. That I have no interest in them, But when the bell rings, some of these guys, when they get together, they got the chemistry and they got the work ethic and they're fun matches. But then when the show is over, I'm asking these questions about why this happened, why they did this. This makes no sense. I mean, the talent is great. The talent knows how to fucking wrestle. The creative department does not know how to be creative, though.
No. What creative department? There's no creative department at all. So we'll pick it up here. There was a lot of blood in this. Surprising, I know. But Gabe Kidd, he had his head bounced off the barricade. Allin broke the count, gets back in the ring. There was a spot here which allowed Kidd to shoot a double leg and tackle Allin over the timekeeper's area. Gabe Kidd then placed Allin underneath the ring steps. He positioned the ring steps in front of the commentary table, and he's under the ring steps. Darby was then slingshot, causing part of the steps to fly up in the air and come back down into Allin's face. So Allin was clearly busted open because of this. Allin was brought up to the apron. Kidd, full steam, launched him headfirst into the ring post, causing Allin to do a 360 spin as his head crashed into the steel, bleeding even more so, even landed on the fucking cameraman. So Darby Allin ducked a chair shot, dropped it into Kidd's face, causing Gabe Kidd to bleed. Allin then bit at the bloody head of Gabe Kidd, placing him on a chair, connecting with the missile dropkick off the top rope. Back inside, Kidd launched Allin clear across the ring with a shotgun dropkick and wanted an avalanche pile driver, but Allin bit at his face again, raked him in the back, and hit an avalanche code red for a 2 count. Darby then went up top, hit a coffin drop. Kidd wisely rolled to the outside, or he wanted a coffin drop, but he connected on it. Kidd rolled to the outside, so he couldn't get the cover. Allin again went up top, landed another coffin drop, this time on the floor, to Gabe Kidd. So there was a visual of Gabe Kidd close up with the camera guy. He's just pouring blood on the outside. Shocking, I know. So we go back inside. Kidd kicked out of a pin, landed right into a Scorpion Death Drop. So Allin applied the Scorpion Deathlock, and we got what fans and sickos were saying was their Bret Hart Stone Cold spot from WrestleMania 13. No, not even close. It's a sin to even compare the two. Allin slumped forward, broke the hold. Kidd recovered, battering headbutts and bounce back lariat. Took Allin's head off following a jumping pile driver. Kidd goes to apply a sleeper. Allin kicked through, got a flash pin. Nigel McGuinness said Allin didn't win the match. More so, he survived it. So we got another flash. Nobody won a match tonight without a flash pin. So he got a flash pin, Jesse, over Gabe Kidd. He survived Gabe Kidd.
Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, it's fantastic, man. I know. It's like, we'll be talking about this for generations to come, bro.
Remember that Gabe Kidd Darby Allin match? Woo!
How do you ask me to care about Gabe Kidd when the guy makes fucking 2 appearances per year on television? Why is this a necessity on this show? Bro, this match is all this bleeding and the blood and the violence, which is not necessary. Bro, all of this will be forgotten by the time the next match ends. Nobody's going to remember anything from this match tonight.
Nah, it didn't need to be. This is absolutely a match I would have 86 from this show. It just did not need to be. And I love seeing Darby. And I would rather see Darby, into something a lot more interesting than Gabe Kidd. Now, this might not be nothing against Gabe Kidd himself because the guy can work, but you have to make me care about him. I care about Darby, but if you put him in the ring with someone I don't care about, the result is I don't care about the match. So I want to see Darby entwined with someone that I do care about. Book it.
This is just me, bro. I'm really bored of the stuntman antics of Darby Allin, bro. Same match every fucking time he goes in there, he gets beat up, especially if they want to go extra violent. He bleeds, he gets beat up, he pulls out a shock flash victory. Are you kind of like bored of the Darby Allin like crash course, crash dummy type of shit that he does out there? It's the same fucking match every single time he's out there.
Absolutely not. I love Darby. Jeff Hardy made a fucking career out of it. What's the difference with
bro? Darby is not Jeff Hardy.
No, thank God. I don't even like Jeff Hardy. No, but
Darby is not Jeff Hardy. He'll never have the influence that Jeff Hardy has, bro. It's not even a common comparison. It's not even a fair comparison.
Guy has no fucking mic skill.
Jeff Hardy is a living legend, bro. Darby Allin is nothing more than a crash test dummy.
What makes Jeff Hardy a living legend?
Bro, he's one half of the greatest tag team maybe of all time.
That's what makes him a living legend.
Yes.
Bro, what did he do to become a living legend?
Bro, he influenced the generation of fucking tag teams.
Doing what?
By jumping off ladders.
Okay. Did you get tired of it?
And Darby Allin does it in front of 200,000 people, bro. Jeff Hardy did it in front of multi-millions. Sold out crowds everywhere.
Did you get tired of it?
No. Because it was something that was different then. Now we see it every fucking week.
Okay.
Come on, man. You're not really comparing Jeff Hardy to Darby Allin now, are you?
I just asked you how Jeff Hardy got famous, and you said jumping off of ladders. What else did he? That's what he did? What did he do?
In front of sold out fucking millions and millions of people, bro. Who's Darby Allin doing in front of?
So because he jumped off a ladder in front of a large crowd, that's what makes him okay.
And influenced a generation, bro. Darby's not influencing anybody. Darby's only a fucking detriment to his own being.
All right.
He'll be retired by the time he's 34 years old, bro. Jeff Hardy's still going, man. How old is he? He's near 50.
Yep. Gotcha. You totally make sense, bruh.
Come on, man.
I'm giving you the stage to tell me what makes Jeff Hardy special. And all you gave me was that he jumped off ladders.
Bro, Jeff is an actual professional wrestler, bro. Darby Allin at this point is a crash test dummy. What does he do? What does he do?
Jeff Hardy jumps off ladders. I don't think they're any fucking different. One's younger, one's older.
You don't think that Jeff Hardy and Darby Allin are any different, bro?
No. They're both crash test fucking dummies, man. No.
Bro, Jeff could actually have a normal match. In a normal match like tonight was, bro. It was advertised as a one-on-one normal match. There's still fucking pipes and fucking posts and chairs and blood and... Why? And the one match he had with Pac, which was a regular match at the last pay-per-view, he took 95% of the fucking offense.
I don't know. Darby don't have any DUIs, though. I mean, this...
See, now you're making it personal, bro. Now you're making it personal. Come on. Come on. You automatically lose all validity in your argument, bro. But, Darby doesn't have any DUIs. So what?
Bro, Darby is a fucking crash test dummy. I'll give you that. But Jeff Hardy made a career out of it, and it's okay for him. Make it make sense.
What is Darby doing? What is Darby doing it for, bro? Who is he doing it for? Who is Darby going to influence from this point on?
What do you mean?
Who is Darby influencing now? This generation. Who is he influencing?
Wrestling fans.
He's influencing wrestling fans. Name one wrestler that Darby Allin has influenced.
I didn't say wrestler. You just fucking said wrestler. You tell me. I said wrestling fans.
Name one wrestler that Darby Allin has influenced, bro.
I didn't say he influenced any wrestlers. You said that.
Because he hasn't. He hasn't influenced anybody.
You tell me. The guy's like 15 years old, man. He just started. Jeff Hardy's been doing this shit for decades.
I don't know, man. I don't see.
Who did Jeff Hardy influence at Darby Allin's age?
Bro, Jeff Hardy was having women strip for him in the fucking crowd coming out the day one, bro. Everybody knew he was a star immediately.
No, what wrestlers did Jeff Hardy influence at Darby's age?
What wrestlers at Darby's age did Jeff influence?
I'm just giving you the same layout you gave me.
How old is Darby Allin? 30? Jeff Hardy didn't influence wrestlers at 30 years old? All they needed was one match to set the standard, bro, and then it was off to the races there.
5. Darby Allin.
He's 35 years old.
Darby Allin's 32.
32 years old. You mean to tell me that Jeff Hardy at 32 years old wasn't already a fucking industry superstar?
An industry what wrestlers did he influence at 32, I guess, then?
An entire generation of tag teams, bro. What are you talking about?
Okay, all right, then ask me who Darby influenced right now.
Nobody.
An entire generation of, you didn't say shit. Who?
Bro, how many tag teams did Jeff Hardy influence at 32 years old? Bro, look at every tag team in this industry. Look at every tag team in this industry that Jeff Hardy has had a hand in influencing. At 32 years old, every team that you can mention to me, bro, it doesn't matter who they are. They were influenced by the Hardys.
All right. Hardys are great. All right. There you go.
What is it? Listen, I need to get down to this, bro. What is it against the Hardy Boys that you got now?
I was never a Hardy Boys fan, but Jeff Hardy made a career out of doing the exact fucking same thing that Darby Allin is doing. But
yes, and one influenced the generation, and one has not.
One is at the end of his career. The other one is just starting.
Just starting? He'll be retired in 3 years, bro.
Says you.
Darby Allin is not wrestling to 40 years old, bro.
Maybe not, but says you, though. You don't know. Jeff Hardy is not wrestling right now. The guy's in a fucking ring.
Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy are more important to their brand than Darby Allin will ever be.
Okay. I mean, Future teller then. I don't know. I mean, you know it. You tell me then. You got it. You tell me.
Bro, the reason why you're covering TNA on AMC is because of the Hardys.
Yeah, I can't wait to go cover the Hardys, man. There you go. Woo, Hardys.
Do you genuinely not see the influence that the Hardys have now?
I was never a Hardy Boys fan.
All right. You were never
in my life.
Right.
No, man. Never. Neither one of them has a single inkling of a mic skill. They are daredevils. I respect what they do in the ring, but they do the same exact thing as this guy does, but yet there's a major difference to you because of the size of the crowd and one jumps off ladders. That's all you get able to tell me.
Bro, it's deeper than that, man. Jeff Hardy influenced a youth generation, bro. How many people, you go to fucking Comic-Con, bro. At 19 years old, people would dress with the fucking ripped stockings and the sleeves of Jeff Hardy, emulating Jeff Hardy in every which way, whether they were dressing up as him, influenced by his in-ring ability. Even now, bro, you get adult women going to Comic-Cons dressed as Jeff Hardy. I mean, even Matt Hardy influenced a generation with Delete and Broken. Like,
all right, man. All right. Got it.
Who is Darby influencing, bro? What type of generation is Darby influencing?
Nobody. All right, nobody.
Hey, you're over it. You're over it. Okay.
Yeah, man. Way fucking over it. Yeah.
Darby Allin beats Gabe Kidd in a match that nobody will remember by the time this night's over. Goodbye. Anarchy in the Mixed Nuts Mayhem match. What the fuck is a Mixed Nut Mayhem match?
No clue. Where'd they get that name from?
Was this sponsored by Planters Peanuts?
Where'd they get that name? Was this mentioned somewhere in a show that I missed?
I have no idea. I was going to ask you.
I mixed. No, there was no nut sponsor, so I don't fucking know.
Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Timeless Tony Storm, Death Riders. We got Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, Danny Garcia, and Marina Shafir. Mixed Nuts Mayhem match. So there was woman on male violence here. We got Claudio doing the swing to Toni Storm, which was pretty cool. But we'll pick this up here. I'm not going to go over this. This is this to me was This was an AEW pre-show match disguised as a main show match. So we got spinning DDT from Cassidy onto Claudio. Briscoe flew off the top rope with the froggy bow. Yuta Garcia broke it up. Yuta and Garcia should be thanking their lucky stars that they actually got a pay-per-view payday out of this. I mean, who the fuck wants them on their show? Cassidy tried to make the save. Storm returned, faced off with both, sending both into one another. Released Germans on both Garcia and Yuta until Shafir returned, and Storm and Marina went at it. Storm got a big package on Marina for 2. Claudio broke it up, placed Storm in a corner. So Storm slapped him in the face, hit a tornado DDT. Claudio popped up, delivered a giant swing on Toni Storm. Roddy sent Claudio packing with a big knee, leaving Strong and Shafir facing off. So husband and wife facing off here. Popped the crowd briefly. Shafir punted her husband in the face. Strong chopped her in the back. Orange Cassidy hit an orange punch on Garcia. Storm followed with Storm Zero. Yuta ate an orange punch. Storm hit Sweet Chic music with Briscoe hitting a J Driller for the win. At the end of this match, the Babes of Wrath and the rest of the conglomeration with Mina Shirakawa and Luther, they all celebrated, and this got more of a post-match celebration than anything else on the show. They lingered with this for several minutes. I don't know why. I don't know what the big deal was here, but the Mixed Nuts Mayhem match. Just a poor men's version of Anarchy in the Arena. Why we needed it, I don't know. I'm asking the same thing. There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing to add, bro. Are you a fan of Peanuts?
I'm gonna say I fucking like the show, then you're gonna cry about it. So I mean, just keep going.
What was it about the match that you liked? Did you like Toni Storm and Orange Cassidy tango dancing in the middle of the ring? What'd you like?
I hated the match, man.
You hated it. Okay.
I hated the match.
Did you hate it as much as you hate Jeff Hardy?
I hate it. I hate everything they do. I hate it all.
Did you hate it as much as you hate the Hardy Boys, bro?
Not that much. I hated it all.
I busted your balls, man. I'm sorry.
It all sucked.
No, what did you like about the match? Genuinely, what did you like about the match?
Nothing. Nope. Why did they have this match? It was so stupid.
I did like the showdown between Roddy and Marina. I did like that.
This company knows nothing about nothing. It's all dumb. This company is so stupid, man. They don't know what they're doing. They're so stupid. God, they're not like WWE, which is perfect and great. Hey, come on.
False.
I mean, come on. This company sucks.
What'd you like about the match? I'm asking you.
It was a calm down. Nope. I didn't like it. Nope. You almost got me.
It was a come down match. Then why did we need this match to take place if it was a come down match?
Right, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, we done. This is so dumb. So dumb. This match was so bad. Woo! It's such. Whoa.
Nothing at all to add. Seriously, nothing.
Why?
Why what?
Why do you hate me so much?
I don't hate you. We're having a good stream. I'm asking you what you liked about the match.
The match was fun. What was so horrible about it?
The fact that it took place.
Okay, then there you go.
What I didn't like, why is Toni Storm mixing it up with these losers? That's what I want to know.
That she's in I don't know. I have no idea how they came up with it. That's why I didn't understand why they put it together when I saw it on paper. But coming out of it, it wasn't offensive. It was a nice little break in the serious wrestling action. I thought it was a nice little come down spot. It wasn't the worst thing ever. Some of the matches I didn't understand why they had them going into it. Then after it, I'm like, well, it was still bad. So why was it there? This one, I didn't understand why it was there going into it, but after it, I was like, okay, that was kind of fun.
Should we be jealous of Wheel Yuta taking a Sweet Cheek music from Toni Storm?
I was. I was. And she even hiked up her, I was. I mean, just saying. I was. But I get it. We like to bash everything that they do. So yeah, I didn't like it.
The conglomeration get the victory over the Death Riders.
There you go.
Lexi Nair was backstage with Mercedes Moné outside of her locker room. Moné stormed by her and screamed, crying. We hear shit breaking, mirrors cracking in the background. She calms down. She comes out for an interview, says she's now ready. Lexi said the end of 2025 hasn't been good to her. Moné felt insulted, and she basically twisted Lexi's nares. 2025 wasn't good for me. She lists off Sports Illustrated and #1 PWI Pro Wrestler of the Year and all these other accomplishments. Moné said at New Year's Smash on Dynamite, she's going to beat Willow Nightingale's fucking ass. And it wasn't bleeped. It wasn't bleeped at all.
It was not.
No, which I very much appreciate. We should absolutely see more of that on PLE/pay-per-views, but one does it, the other doesn't. So, Kris Statlander, Jamie Hayter for the AEW Women's World Championship. I felt bored here, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
It started off very slow. It did pick up towards the end. I mean,
the crowd absolutely killed this match, though. You got to admit.
The crowd. I forgot the crowd interaction with it, to be honest. Was it dead for the whole match? I don't remember.
No, I mean they popped for a move here, a move there, but they were not into it at all. Really,
it started off most of the matches, especially the long ones. They all paced. They all started off slow, and they were supposed to pick up at the end. The Moxley Okada match didn't really pick up at the end, but this one it did kind of get into second and third gear for me. It got a little bit better. But both of them as individual wrestlers are great. I mean, I think the match probably went longer than it needed to be honest with you.
Do you think Stat is working as champion? Does she have the fan support every time she's out there, or is she going to be a product of? They need to give her a solid story for people to really give a shit about, because I just get a sense that, and this happened with Mercedes too. They were actually pretty quiet for the last Mercedes match too, at Full Gear. do you feel like Kris needs a story for the fans to be a little bit more engaged in what she's doing and who she's working with? Because let's be real, man, this Jamie Hayter match didn't really come together in a very, good way. It was like, they're teaming up against Tekla and the Sisters of Sin, so they were like, all right, let's wrestle each other. You deserve it. I'll give it to you, and blah, blah, blah.
There's no real heat. There's no real heat into it. And to answer the question, there's absolutely nobody I can think of that can hold a title and hold my interest with no story at all. Everybody needs an interesting story.
Yep.
Everybody. And the one that they've been giving Statlander so far has not been it. There's been nothing of interest. She comes out and she's kind of like, tweaked her look a little bit here and there, but she's coming out and she's shaking hands with her opponent and cutting a promo. Bro, that's not fucking interesting. That is just not interesting. No one has ever watched any kind of fight where they see the opponents come out and shake hands and love each other and shit. And that's just not interesting. What kind of story is that? So the answer, I love Stat and I love Jamie Hayter, but I don't love what they gave us coming into this. I can appreciate what they did in the match. It was paced okay. It started off kind of slow, but they did pick it back up. But at the end of the day, it didn't have a lot of story behind it. No, you're right. There was no heat to this. Hopefully they do give her somebody that she could work with where there is a little bit of heat and some story, because these matches are really, unfortunately, not hitting, and both ladies are tremendous. Statlander at one point here, Hayter hit a missile drop kick on Stat for a near fall. Statlander came back with a snapmare. Cradle sit out slam, goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. Both ladies are throwing bombs at each other. Hayter won out. Statlander crawled to the apron to try and recover. Hayter just continuing the beatdown. She drags Statlander up and hits an avalanche exploder off the top rope for a near fall. Statlander floated over a lariat. Nice package. Pile driver gets a 2 count. She goes back up top. Statlander was cut off by Jamie Hayter. Only this time Statlander slipped through. Hayter punched out briefly. Statlander rejoined Hayter up top, where she planted Hayter with a spinning avalanche fisherman's driver, which looked fucking brutal. And Jamie Hayter kind of laid there. A lot of people thought that she was injured. They were calling attention to the shoulder. Stat took a nasty bump off it too. Again, I don't know why, but they delivered an avalanche fisherman driver. Statlander wanted Haterade. Hayter dropped Statlander on her head with a suplex before following up with a shining wizard. Hayter then signaled for her finish because she wanted her own Haterade. But Statlander, she got out of it. She ate a thrust kick. She then hits an Inseguri. Hayter was there with a hate breaker. Statlander didn't go down. Hayter hit a suplex, and both ladies are down. So then they trade heavy shots again. Statlander slapped Hayter, and this only pissed off Jamie Hayter. Statlander hits her own Haterade. Only Hayter responded with Saturday Night Fever, so they traded finishes. And there was another double down. So both ladies pulled themselves back up. Again, they throw more bombs. Hayter connected first. Hayter went for the finish. Statlander counted into a Saturday Night Fever for the clean win. And that was basically it. And the commentary team asked, we'll see what's next for Statlander and Jamie Hayter in the weeks and months to come. Okay. I would assume based off what we've seen on television that Tekla is going to be next for the AEW Women's Championship, but the next pay-per-view is until March 15th at Revolution, so they got some time to tell some story there, which I think Statlander desperately needs. That's awesome. That's awesome that they have that much time to the next pay-per-view.
Is it?
And yeah, man, they need to build some goddamn interest into something of major interest before you start asking people for another $50 for a pay-per-view. Instead of just saying, okay, well, it's been 30 days, so it's time to ask for money. They have 3 months to build something of interest. About 2. So, good. Pay-per-views used to be about 3 or 4 months apart.
Yep.
And it was much better then.
We'll see what happens with both of them. Tekla may be next up. We get into the Continental Classic final. Okada and Jon Moxley. This was bad. This was fucking boring. The semifinal between Moxley and Fletcher served as more of a final than this actual final between Moxley and Okada. So this was the match where the crowd started chanting, Green Bay sucks, Green Bay sucks, because the Packers just lost to the Bears, clinching a division, for anybody that was wondering.
The Ravens.
The Ravens, I'm sorry.
They weren't playing the Bears.
Okay, well, the Ravens, whatever. I'm sorry. And the Bears clinched. I'm sorry. The Packers lost to the Ravens, and the Bears clinched the division. Okay. Yeah. This was boring. The crowd had priorities elsewhere and not the Continental Classic. And this may have been one of the worst matches in the entire tournament, to be quite honest with you. So I'm not even going to go over it because it was a fucking slog to sit through. And really, the crowd was deflated by the time we got to this thing. And they didn't really show any interest until the end whatsoever. So Moxley wanted a paradigm shift. Okada spun out. He tried to send Moxley into the ref, who put the brakes. Ref covered up. Okada punted Moxley low, hit a Rainmaker. Moxley kicked out of a Rainmaker. So there you go. Moxley went outside. He grabbed the Continental title. He tried to bring it in the ring, but Stephon Smith called him. The referee took out the title and got rid of it. This distraction gave Moxley a chance to return the favor with a low blow, getting back Okada for hitting a low blow earlier in the match. So this was a reset for both guys, and Moxley recovered. We got a forearm exchange. Moxley switched to jabs. He ran right into his signature Okada dropkick. Moxley stood up. Okada got a backslide, wrist control, Rainmaker. Holding on, Moxley kicked out of his second one into a paradigm shift, but Okada kicked out, so right back into the Bulldog choke, transitioned into a rear naked choke. Okada tried a Rainmaker. Moxley ducked into a Rainmaker of his own, followed into a paradigm shift, but Okada kicked out at a 1. Curb stomp from Moxley. Crowd was into it. He spiked Okada with a Death Rider and got the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Death Riders hit the ring. They all hugged Moxley, hand him the Continental title. Shivani's in the ring, and he's shilling it up like he usually is. He was absolutely insufferable on the microphone tonight on commentary. Claudio puts the belt around Moxley's waist. Shivani puts over Moxley's accomplishments. Moxley said, fuck that. This title doesn't belong to me. It belongs to everybody in the Continental Classic that busted their ass. Belongs to the fans who support professional wrestling. They owe it to them to give everything they have every time they step into the ring, and he owes it to his teammates. They are the hardest working professional athletes in the world. Moxley doesn't just mean everyone in the ring with him, but everyone in AEW who shows up every fucking day and will continue to do so, as there is no other organization like AEW. They give 100% every damn time, and it's what the fans and this job deserves. So Brian on commentary said it's hard for him to take Moxley at face value, but maybe he did what he did, and maybe he now all of a sudden is pro AEW. Even Bryan Danielson couldn't come up with an explanation as to why Jon Moxley cut this babyface promo in the midst of a fucking Death Riders heel run, where he basically went back on everything that they did for the last 12 months to basically fucking shit all over it, and now we're supposed to take the Death Riders and Jon Moxley as babyfaces.
I don't get it.
I don't understand it. And they're all, like we said, Jesse, they're all cheering him. They're giving him standing ovation. They're hugging him. Claudio put the title on him. If they needed to do the turn, it should have happened here after this promo, because it directly went against everything that they were fighting against. So if the turn doesn't happen on Wednesday to start the new year, what are we doing here? And even if it does happen, it makes them all look like stupid idiots for cheering this guy on for the promo tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea I don't know what the thought process was behind this. I don't get it. I've never felt so confused at the end of a match. Like I'm waiting for like the turn and for them to kick him out of the Death Riders. Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't fucking get it. They had him work babyface the last couple of matches, and all of a sudden he's just a babyface with no explanation behind it and no consequence from the rest of his crew. You know, it's kind of like when the Ops turned heel, and I guess like Shibata and Hobbs are heel because Joe turned, and you know, I mean, I guess the rest of the Death Riders are babyface now too? Question mark?
This is the same guy that choked Bryan Danielson out with a fucking plastic bag, and now he's like, this is for everybody in the locker room, and this is for the fans, and AEW, rah, 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 best place in the world. This is where the best wrestle. Why did we watch a television show for 12 months to see you fucking drastically kill every ounce of your television show and actively drive away 50% of your audience for you to come back and say, rah, 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 AEW great, rah, rah, rah?
I wish I knew. I wish I had a reason to cheer for Moxley. I feel like this could have been fixed with like a simple backstage segment, a simple Moxley talking to his friends saying, you know what? Oh shit, I'm about to time out in my StreamYard. Hold on. Stay in studio. There we go.
There you go.
A simple backstage segment with his crew saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we've been doing things the wrong way. I'm thinking about things in the way we did them. I don't know. Something's not right here. I need to rethink shit. And then walk away. And then Claudio and Pac and all of them are looking at each other like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And then he goes out there and does the matches that he did. And then afterwards, he's having a change of heart. And they're saying, fuck you. And then they jump him. Okay. Hey, it all makes sense now. All right. He had a change of heart. He was having a change of a mindset, and he did cover it with his friends, and they didn't agree, so they kicked him out, even though he won and everything else. Now we got a story going into that. That wouldn't have been the smoothest transition, but it would have made a hell of a lot more sense than what we got right now. This was just done poorly. It was done extremely, extremely poorly, especially with, like you said, the amount of time that we spent and the amount of promo time that we spent with this man telling us what was wrong with the company and what he was going to do to fix it and change it. And all of a sudden, this is for the people. That makes no sense.
No, and then on top of what we talked about earlier, Okada enters this tournament to defend the unified championship. That's not the case. They de-unified the championships to put the Continental title on the line in the Continental Classic. So Okada gets all the way to the end, loses the Continental Championship, loses the Continental Classic, and he still ends up being the international champion because they de-unified the championships before the tournament began. So Okada, what does Okada really lose? And like I said, additionally, Okada lost clean to Jon Moxley when it should have been Takeshita to beat Okada clean. And they took that away from Takeshita because Moxley got the win over Okada, and Okada should have lost all these championships to Takeshita. But now they did that, gave it to Moxley, and the win over Okada tonight diminishes the win that Takeshita is eventually going to get over Okada. So again, it doubly doesn't make any sense, and they fucked everything up.
Not only that, I'm still waiting for Moxley to take that break that I thought he might have been taking after he dropped the world title.
Oh, yeah, that's not going to happen, and I don't believe for a split second that we're going to get a split of the Death Riders, honestly.
Oh, my God.
The Death Riders are going to be the AEW version of Judgment Day. It never ends, even though it should.
I feel like there's no way that they can make sense of this come Wednesday. I feel like there's no way that they can do anything or say anything to make us say, okay, well, now it comes together. Now it makes sense. Okay, they made it make sense. I feel like we've gone too far. They've gone too far because they were all hugging and high-fiving after it and sitting and listening to him cut his baby face promo. And, even if they, pull back Wednesday and all jump him and change their mind. No, it still looks stupid on Saturday. I don't know if there's any coming back from this. It's already way too dumb.
No, Jesse. If they turn on Moxley, the whatever happened here with this promo is completely fucking irrelevant. And the Death Riders look like geeks because they just listened to him spew this nonsense only to turn on him Wednesday. Why didn't you turn on him on Saturday?
Yeah.
There's nothing that they could do here.
He was losing. They had every reason to turn on him for tapping out and losing week after week after week after talking about that they strive for excellence and they want to make the company better, and he out there fucking tapping out week after week, and they still stood behind him. They should have kicked him out then.
I don't get it. I mean, it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You're going to have a whole 4.5 days to go before you kick this guy out of the group if that's what they want to do. Because that's what people are hoping for. Well, maybe they turn him on Wednesday.
Too late.
Who gives a shit? You let 4 fucking days go by.
too fucking late.
You're all right with the promo until Wednesday. Give me a break, man. Absolutely fucking stupid creative. And they took away from Takeshita, which is the most damning of all, because he should have been the one to beat Okada and give Okada that first loss. But now Moxley did it, so Takeshita, when he doesn't, isn't going to feel as special. They don't think that way, and apparently they know best. So
I thought Takeshita was going to win this tournament. Excuse me, because I thought they were building him up to be the new greatest tournament wrestler and taking that, unofficial title from Okada, since, he was like, oh, well, now I'm the biggest tournament wrestler around, and instead of Okada, or I could have seen them give it to Fletcher because I know they're high on Fletcher. I don't understand why they went with one of the guys who just did not need a rub like this at all. What is your plan to build a new star by having Moxley win this tournament?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Didn't need to be. It did need to be. Out of all the people in this tournament, he is one of the people that needed it the least.
And on top of that, Continental Championship is now back on TV, as well as the International Championship, and the Unified Championship that they created for All In between Omega and Okada is now irrelevant. It's gone. So now we have, like we said, International, National, TNT, and Continental Championship. All mid-card championships on AEW television. That's not including the singles men's Ring of Honor championships. TV Championship, Pure Championship, and the AEW Men's Championship. Or the Ring of Honor World title, Bandito's title.
I don't get it, man. I mean, you put us through this tournament, and the outcome is supposed to have a big grand meaning behind it. And one of those big grand meanings could have been, this is one of our future stars. Takeshita, sure. Fletcher. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't think it could be argued that they have plans to make him one of the bigger stars down the line. Sure. Hell, I would have put Hook in the goddamn tournament. Something. Nothing. We got Moxley winning.
They don't care, bro. They don't care. Main event. Samoa Joe enters as champion, defends against MJF, Adam Page, and Swerve Strickland. Fatal four-way. MJF cashed in his contract that he won at All In during the Casino Gauntlet match 2 weeks ago, and wanted to win this one fair and square. That's why he's here. He's back, and our scumbag is once again the world champion. We'll pick it up middle of the match where MJF is on the top rope and he did a Panama Sunrise here. So he was thrown back to Adam Cole Bay.
That was not what it was.
It was a Panama Sunrise.
It was not.
What was it?
It was a Long Island Sunrise.
Sure. A Long Island Sunrise, sure.
There you go.
Long Island Sunrise for a near fall. Joe came in as Swerve kicked out. Hangman gave MJF a dead eye. I look at the dead eye, Jesse, and I don't like the dead eye as a move. How impactful is the dead eye? It's not very impactful. It's more impactful to the guy doing the move instead of the guy taking the move.
Maybe. I mean,
this didn't look good. No. Joe knocked Hangman off the ring apron. Swerve then caught Joe with the DDT. Ops showed up and the fans started booing. So we got Shibata and Hook and Powerhouse Ops out there. They yanked Swerve to ringside. So there's no DQs here. Excalibur needed to reassure us of the no DQ stipulation, and they're allowed to be out there. So they picked their spots very perfectly. Joe scored a near fall victory over Hangman almost with a coquina clutch or win. Powerhouse Hobbs grabbed Prince Nana. Swerve leapt off the top rope with a Swerve stomp on both Hobbs and Kazuchika Shibata. Hangman then saw Hook on the apron and grabbed him. Joe pulled him away and applied a coquina clutch. Swerve leapt off the top rope and gave Joe a Swerve stomp. Hangman rolled to the floor. Swerve climbed to the top rope. Joe swept his leg, set up a top rope move, but Swerve punched Joe and dropped to the ring apron. He then got behind Joe and powerbombed him to the mat. And then Swerve climbed to the top rope, but MJF shoved him to the floor head first onto the announce desk. Hangman kicked MJF to the floor and then hit Joe with a buckshot lariat. He hit a second one. Hangman played to the crowd before going for a third one. MJF quickly intervened and hit a heat seeker on Joe after throwing Hangman out of the ring, giving him a low blow, threw him out of the ring. Heat seeker on Joe. He pins the champion, and he gets his revenge from 2 years ago at World's End. MJF is once again the AEW World Championship, or champion, and wins the championship. Pyro blasted. MJF yelled at the camera for being a two-time world champion. He's better than you, and you know it. And Excalibur noted that he's now won 2 world championships before the ripe age of 30 years old. That was it. They went 20 minutes. They didn't overstay their welcome with this match. That's all it needed to go. Solid match, but we've seen better Fatal 4-Ways. This was as predictable as they come, Jesse. I figured MJF was going to win this one. You were thinking that maybe kind of halfway through this that you said Joe was going to retain the championship here, but MJF was the only choice here. They cashed him in or had him cash in. They needed to pay that forward and pay it off. That's exactly what they did, and this was a much-needed change for the main event scene, and a change that's really hopefully going to make their main event scene a lot stronger.
I gave them the creative benefit of the doubt. I gave them the benefit of the doubt that they had a plan as to why they turned Joe, as to why they gave him the title, and then brought MJF back. And I figured they were going to have Joe go over because they had plans for a longer Joe title reign. That was all false. Look, at the end of the day, MJF as champion is the way to go. I for the sake of it, I can't understand creatively why they went through all of the fucking loops that they went through to get here this way. It just made no sense. And Joe was hurt the most by it. Because he just choked. He's a transitional fucking champion.
Bro, they went through all the hoops that they needed to because they created all the problems for themselves. They will never admit that. Everything that you're asking, everything you're questioning is because of AEW.
Yeah. It was the road to get here was just unnecessarily. It was convoluted and it made no goddamn sense. And they found themselves trying to dig out of creative holes that they put themselves in. You're right. So I don't fucking get it.
They had no.
Then I was like,
yeah, go ahead.
So then when the match was happening, people were like, who do you think is going to win? I was like, it must be Joe, because there's no way they was going to turn him, give him the title, and then have Max take it from him in a couple of weeks. It must be Joe, right? No.
They had no plan for Page coming out of Allin. By the time we got to Joe was the only legitimate, credible challenger for the championship because everybody else was either injured or going to be tied up in the Continental Classic. So they had Joe wrestle once, turn heel for a ridiculous reason, and then they fully turned him heel to get the second match. They needed to actually have him win the championship to make sense of the heel turn, which was never planned to begin with. It came about very randomly. And then we get into this situation with MJF, and MJF cashed in his contract from July, now that he's back, and he needed to win to make sense of him cashing in the way that he did with the explanation that he did. Everything, like Jesse said, was very convoluted. None of this was supposed to happen. Page was never supposed to be the champion. It was supposed to be Darby, but he opted to climb a mountain instead, so they had to give Page the championship with no plan, and then everything else that followed when he won the championship was legitimately booked on the fly. If you hear that this was a plan from the word go, and that Page's title run was planned, and there was things that were supposed to happen, it is all bullshit. None of it was planned. It got booked week of, and you see it because you see how everything transpired.
So, if they didn't have a credible champion for Hangman, then why did he just not defend the title? You had Swerve coming back, and there's supposed to be some kind of new frenemy type deal. So why not just do a tag team match? You do a tag team match with fucking Hangman and Swerve against like Joe and Hobbs or some shit like that. All right. Have that, build that to make it fucking something of interest because they need some shit they need to work out. Have MJF come back and insert himself somehow right after that fucking match happens or some shit like that, after Hangman gets hurt or some shit, or what the fuck ever. But if you don't have a credible opponent, just don't do a match. You don't have to defend the title every fucking pay-per-view.
No, you don't. No, they had Paige wrestle more than he really needed to this entire run.
Yeah. I mean, just something fucking else. Insert MJF, get him in there with fucking Paige, and do the damn thing. I mean, but the road that they took was just unnecessarily convoluted, and it just hurt the upper card. It hurt Joe. The way they brought MJF back just made everybody else look like unnecessary chumps. And that's not what you want to do. And I'm all about making MJF the top guy because he is the top fucking guy. But that don't mean you stomp on everything below him.
No.
I mean, you just make him the top guy and everybody else is just a tier or two under the top guy. MJF came back and made himself one, and everybody else under him was like 6'7", and I just fucking said 6'7". Everybody else is like fucking way below him. So now I'm sitting there like, who in the fuck is he supposed to challenge MJF now? Nobody is on this level. Everybody is fucking buried under him right now.
Well, like we said, and we talked about a few times tonight, Joe was never supposed to be the champion. They only gave him the title because they needed to make sense of his heel turn, which was never planned. Paige never had a planned title run. MJF realistically should have took the belt off Paige, but it worked out in a way that Joe was the heel, and MJF came back as the heel who was more popular than Joe as a heel. So they just played it off as, well, 2 years ago, Samoa Joe screwed over MJF, so we'll have MJF get his revenge over Samoa Joe this year at World's End, and it happened to be at the same pay-per-view as 2 years ago. So yeah, AEW with their world title scene, not very good this year. Outside of the win over Moxley from Page at All In, what followed, nothing really hit. And it's been a struggle to sit through for the last 5 or 6 months. So hopefully MJF changes that, but he can only do so much. It's going to be the creative that's going to need to kind of step in and give us some really great babyface and heel dynamic and some solid stories for the top prize in the company, which right now at this point I don't really trust them to do. So
no, they need to do better creatively, man.
Yeah.
The problem, and I know we're gonna put a bow on this.
Yep.
The problem with everything that we're seeing in the ring and everything we're seeing on the show is a direct correlation to what's being given to them in creative. And these guys are out there trying to make sense out of what they're being given, and they can't. They can't. They're great at what they do, but they can't turn, chicken shit into chicken, chicken salad. It just doesn't work that way. So the matches can be great, but we can sit here and poke holes in them all day long because the holes are huge.
You know what that sounds like, bro? You know what that feels like? The days of Vince, when things would be fucking set, and then late minute changes, drastic changes happen late in the game, and things kind of get miscommunicated, and one thing is supposed to happen, something else happens, and it happens late in the night, late in the evening, sometimes during the show. I would not be surprised if we're seeing some of that here in AEW, honestly.
I would believe it all. I believe any of it because none of this makes, especially this Moxley shit. This Moxley shit is some of the strangest shit I've ever seen AEW do, and that's saying a lot. That is so strange. Like, it makes no sense. Like, did anybody sit back and say, "Bro, are you serious? Are you fucking serious?" Like, this goes against the entire fucking narrative we've been laying out all year. And then for no reason.
No.
But no, that's what, there was no planted seeds. There was nothing. It was just flip it.
Oh, well, they may turn them on Wednesday night, Jay. All right, so they turn them on Wednesday night and make everything that happened on Saturday fucking irrelevant. What's the point? No, they're all standing there like, oh, that's a great promo, John. Clapping like a bunch of fucking idiots.
No, that's them sitting around checking social media and checking the influencers and finding out that it was so fucking stupid and then trying to fix it on Wednesday. We've already saw through it. It was a complete clusterfuck.
I don't know. Jesse enjoyed the show for what it is. I think Jesse's watching the product with he's watching it more with an open mind than I am. I'm gonna keep their feet to the fire, man. I can't let some of this shit slide. Honestly, some of these men, like, I get that, you know, the wrestling for the most part is good and it's entertaining, but a lot of the stuff that's happening doesn't make any sense, doesn't need to be. The Jon Moxley thing is absolutely fucking brain dead. And MJF winning the world championship, how we got here, man. The whole run for Paige and Joe is just sloppy. It's fucking sloppy. It's uncreative. I mean, Okada losing and fucking over Takeshita now. Like, I get that there's things happening elsewhere, but Takeshita now meeting Okada for a second time is irrelevant to me because you just took that away from Takeshita because you gave it to Moxley. Like, I can't let this shit slide.
Yeah, I'm just of the belief that a great, perfect wrestling show is 50% story and 50% wrestling. And if one of those parts are off, it doesn't make it 100% bad.
No.
It was still 50-50.
No.
So.
All right, guys, that's your World's End post show. I appreciate you being here. We've had 2,400 people in here on a early Sunday morning. We're going to get these super chats. Right, we still got 2,200 people in here. We're going to get these super chats in just a second. So if you guys want to get them on, and it's the best way to support the channel. Thumbs up. We got 760 likes. I'd love to get at least 800. Can we do that? Let's get to 800. And I'm going to give Jesse the opportunity to get out of here. I know it's late. If you want to hang around, Jesse, obviously everybody would love to have you here. If you want to get out of here and go rest up, you're more than welcome to.
I think I will take you up on that. I've been reading through the super chats, and
yeah, it's gonna be a slow super chat night. I can tell already.
Yeah. You guys have at it, man. I appreciate you guys. I see someone went to the show and they had fun at the show. I mean, and I could see that. I mean, if I was at that show, I would have had a lot of fucking fun, to be honest with you.
Sure. Yeah, it's fun if you don't have to cover the show. Sure.
Yeah. It would have been a fun show. What I would have gotten home and then gotten to Dynamite on Wednesday, I would have gotten back and said, well, the fuck was all that then? Yeah. It makes no sense. The wrestling is fun. The story is not. It is not. If the story was half as good as the wrestling, the show would be okay right now.
Yeah.
But it's not.
All right, just a programming note. Jesse, I don't know what Jesse's doing for New Year's, but we will not be live on Wednesday. I will not be covering Dynamite on Wednesday. I'll talk to him during the week. Maybe we do something on Thursday. I'm not sure.
I'll be in Florida.
Oh, you'll be in Florida. That's right. Maybe I'll go live on Thursday and cover Dynamite. We'll see what happens, but I'm not covering it New Year's Eve. There's no way.
I'll see. I do plan. I am taking my laptop with me, but I will be in Florida, so we'll see what's going on.
All right, man. I'll talk to you. I'm sure I'll talk to you next week. We'll be doing some Destiny with Triple M and doing the Dungeon Man for our exotic. So I'll see you then.
For sure.
All right, bro. All right. Later. All right, guys, we're gonna get on out of here and get through your super chats. I appreciate you very much. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications, and please go and check out all the content on the channel. Some great content there, and some great content coming up. We have Monday Night Raw live on Monday from where are they Monday? I don't even know where they are on Monday, but they're back to being live. WWE will be live on Monday. And they will be live on Friday. So we got SmackDown going to 3 hours. Great. A 3-hour SmackDown. And then Tuesday Night Titans, we have our year-end discussion going over the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2025. So join us then. And then obviously Jason and I will have a extensive breakdown of World's End. Let's get into these super chats. Michael Krause with a 2. JD, Jesse, OTS, good Saturday. Hope all is well. Yeah, thank you, Michael. Orlando. They are in Orlando on Monday. There you go. Orlando on Monday. Michelle with a 2 and a 2. Opening match was a banger until the finish. Lame. Darby fighting the Death Riders feels meaningless. It does. The opening match was not a banger. I would not call it a banger. I will not be calling anything a banger because John Albin, Sports Illustrated, made it uncool to call anything a banger. It was okay, and the last 5 minutes were really good. Captain Solo with the $2 Super Chat. Save AEW MJF. What a way to end 2025. MJF will not save AEW. AEW cannot be saved unless Tony Khan removes himself from the writing process. Twister 1296 with a $9.99. Outside of MJF winning, this was one of the worst AEW pay-per-views I've ever watched. What a fucking waste of $50. They're giving you more and giving you less at the same time. I agree. A very uneventful, unexciting show with a crowd in Schaumburg that was more interested in the Packers game than they were into the finals of the Continental Classic. Lucha Trooper with a 5. Happy New Year, everybody. Here's to another year where TK will fill 80,000 into Wembley Stadium again. LOL. They ain't fitting 80,000 in Wembley. Maybe the year off gave people more of a reason to go. Maybe they'll do 60, but they ain't doing 80. Savion, 290 with 39 months. Happy holidays to you and yours, JD. I hope MJF is champion again, is the start of a turnaround going into the new year for AEW as a whole. You are more hopeful than I am, brother. Crank the Chaos with 40 months. Well, at least MJF is back on top. He is. Much needed. MJF back at the top. Adam JD, 519, 21 months. Happy holidays, JD, Jesse, OTS family. AW's killed the Chicago market crowd. This was on life support most of the night. Hashtag OTS for life. Yeah, the crowd was pretty lifeless through most of this show. Black Wolf Inc., 31 months. I honestly don't see what MJF can do with the belt now, other than turn it back to the Triple B and be a semi-babyface again. Love MJF. Hard pass, baby. It's going to be on the writing team, bro. It's going to be all in what they give him as far as story and feud. Simply the Pope with a 44 months. Great show. And I will have a peanut butter whiskey. Screwball is a dangerous whiskey, bro. Very, very good. El Mase, 29 months. Backlash coming to Puerto Rico next year. Hell yeah. I saw that. We talked about that on Tuesday. I said, man, I'd wish WWE would go back to Puerto Rico. It's going to be a great show. I am William Sullivan with a new membership. William, what the fuck are you drinking, William? Joseph Taylor with a $6 Super Chat. World's End, 5 out of 10. I'm happy we did not have Mini Portable and Weezy Blonde on TV. Weezy didn't even tweet. She knows when she does, she'll probably get some negative feedback, being that she was asked to join the festivities there for AEW because they need the traction. AEW now is getting into the reaction streamer market because they need people like that to shill their program. Tommy McCluth with a $4.99. When MJF cuts a promo on Wednesday and we hear Adam Cole, baby, could Cole be back in 2026? Love y'all and TNT. No. Adam Cole's not going to be back next week. I don't want to see that either. I'm done with both of them together. We're not going back to that. A Watson with 43 months. What's up, JD? Welcome back, Jesse. I just watched World's End and the main event. Congratulations to MJF. Well deserved. Cheers, my bros. Thank you, A Watson. Appreciate you, brother. Sidro. $2 Super Chat. What do you call a bad case of sleeping foot? Comatose. David Rice. $9.99. The booking. Promotion of the year, my ass. No way it's the promotion of the year, bro. No way. Not with booking like that. History King 888. Glad to see you back, Jesse. Skull with the $4.99. Thank you, brother. Adam JD 519 with the $5 super chat. I seriously thought I had a stroke during Moxley's nonsense promo. Honestly, one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in wrestling. I was so confused. Rusty Wagner with 30 or with 50 months. Rusty Wagner with 50 months. Thank you both. Not at the venue as I once was. AW let me down. Have a happy new year. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you very, very much. B-Vay with a $10 super chat. I just came back from the show. Took my older boys to their first pay-per-view. We definitely enjoyed seeing the in-ring action. Sorry, JD, I have to agree with Jesse. On its own, it was a good event. I'm glad you had a good time, B-Vay. It's different when you're there and you don't have to cover the show compared to me and I have to be analytical and I have to cover the show. So it's not really a fair assessment. I'm glad that you had a good time though with your sons and that's a great memory for them and hopefully they are more of a pro wrestling fan now because of it. But even when I was at the shows, I would admit I had a good time at the show, but I got to be real. You know, I can't sit there because I'm at the show feeling the energy of the crowd. I got to be honest with everybody how the show was. So if you're attending the show as a fan, sure, you had a great time. And you're not going to be as analytical and talk about half the shit that we talked about. Unfortunately, this is the content I need to create. Otherwise, I'm not going to be genuine and true to myself. I got to give you guys what you're watching. Soundwave 80s with a $4.99. AEW has too many title belts that now it's called All Championship Wrestling. Caden Crawford with a $4.99. Should Mercedes be losing the TBS title to a new talent or Willow, who she won the title from in the beginning? Mercedes should not lose the title until she loses all the other championships. Omega Kong with 46 months. Came back from my friend's house. World's End was cool, but as I told my friends that are pro AEW, it lacks continuity. OTS for life. Happy 2026. JD and Jesse. Yes, it's totally different watching it live, being there live, and watching it live at home. Completely different vibe. And we'll end with this. Nate TV with a 41 months. I was there as an OTS spy. Not a bad show, but not great either. Also, heel Okada needs to go. Mox and him put me to sleep. He wrestles like he doesn't care. Bro, the match was fucking sleep-inducing, man. It was fucking boring. Moxley versus Fletcher was more of a final than Okada and Moxley. Anyway, guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. I've been live long enough. I got to get some sleep. Thank you very much for all your support. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight late into the Sunday morning. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys Monday live for Monday Night Raw. We got a big Monday night coming up. Tuesday Night Titans, New Year's, and then right back to business, man. We get into the swing of things. It'll be Rumble season. I'm not as excited for the Rumble this year as I am in previous years. Thank you guys for your support. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go and check out all the great content. Again, we'll be live on Monday. And then Tuesday will be the final stream of the year. hang out with Jason and I on Tuesday Night Titans, episode 127. Hit that thumbs up down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about World's End and some of the very questionable and terrible booking decisions tonight by AEW. And until then, thank you guys very much. I'll see you back Monday night, live after Monday Night Raw on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.